Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to TA Cotton Ford Stadium for the Greenville Lions District Opener. My name is Bentley Love. I'll be on play-by-play tonight. With me is Archer O'Neill calling color, and at the controls is Matthew Middleton. Bob took tonight off to spend some time with some family, so Bob, if you're listening, we hope you have a great evening, and we'll hold down the anchor for you and look forward to you being back next week. Tonight, the Lions will be taking on the Midlothian Heritage Jaguars. Midlothian and Greenville are both coming off some tough losses last week. Midlothian falling 51-13 to the Texas Tigers. And on the other side, the Lions come off a 42-10 loss to the Joshua Owls. The Lions come into this game a little shorthanded after numerous players unfortunately suffered injuries last week, including freshman quarterback Phoenix Rodriguez, as well as senior tight end / safety, and also the punter, Caleb Yost. We can look for junior quarterback Bryson Sanders to step up in a big way tonight for the Lions, as he will be getting the start at quarterback. Archer, with these injuries to the Lions tonight, what do you see as the key for the Lions coming into this game?
Well, I think players like Daniel Renner, who's back this week after a few weeks off on injury, and Chris Whitus and Caleb Hale, I think they're really going to come in with a strong offensive game against this defense, who seem to allow a lot of points this season. And I think our defense is going to definitely be tested, but I think we can handle that test.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more, Archer. And, missing somebody like Yost is a big thing, as we saw he played a big role in that first half for the Lions last week, which was a lot closer than the scoreboard showed. So missing him isn't good, but they didn't have Renner last week, so like you said, having him back is going to be a big boost for that defense, because Renner's a great player, and look forward to seeing him, as we may see him get some handoffs in the run game too.
Yeah, he's kind of like Greenville's Swiss Army knife. He can kind of do it all. He's a running back, receiver, defensive back, kick blocker. He's done it all. He's done it all this season, so I'm happy to see him back on the field this week.
Yeah, it's definitely big, and always a good thing when you get a player back from injury. Unfortunately, it is football, so you're going to see some injuries, and we had a couple others go down last week, but Lions are going to do their best with the shorthanded staff and see what they've got. Looking at the offensive side of the ball for the Jaguars, they have several really good players, but they're led by senior Carter Rutenbar, who is in his fourth season on varsity. He's averaging 188 yards a game through the air so far and 80 yards a game on the ground, putting him as their leading rusher per game this season. In addition to that yardage, he's also got 3 touchdowns on the season. And looking at somebody like Rutenbar, it's definitely a key thing for the Lions to at least shut down the passing game or the run game and force him to beat him with one or the other. Another big contributor for the Jaguars offense is a gentleman by the name of Zako Davis. Davis is averaging right around 115 yards from scrimmage, while also having 3 touchdowns on the season, 2 on the ground and 1 in the air, so they've definitely got a dual threat out of the backfield. Archer, from your opinion, what's the key for the Lions shutting down the Jaguars on offense tonight?
Well, I think our defensive backs are going to come into play a lot tonight. As you mentioned, Rutenbar's throwing the ball, and he's throwing it pretty well, I'd say. He's got around 560 yards this season on 96 attempts, so he's averaging 32 attempts a game. So I really expect to see a lot of passes and a lot of passes broken up by our defensive backs tonight. And our linebackers are going to get a little bit of that Zako Davis feel, rushing up the middle, and like I said earlier, I think we can handle that offensive challenge they're bringing.
Yeah, I think that's really good, and in addition to that too, they've got a couple other playmakers. Braden Abila, junior wide receiver, standing at 5'9", approximately 175 pounds, and also Ryan Satterwhite, another senior wide receiver, standing at 5'9", 180 pounds. So they'll look for those guys to get involved in the pass game too. And I think the key, like I said earlier, is if they can cut that number of pass attempts, I'm not going to say in half, but if they can take it from 32 to 20 and force them to run the ball, I think that'll be good, because looking at this offense, I would say they're pass heavy.
Yeah, definitely. And like you mentioned, their classifications, those are 4 older guys this is probably their second or third year on varsity, and I think they're up to the challenge of that varsity play, that varsity feel. So, I hope like you said, we can cut that pass attempts down and see less passing, and maybe hold them down.
Yeah, it'll be a big thing. Is the Greenville's going to have to pick one or the other and pick something to shut them down, because it's hard to shut it all down. But if you can force them to beat you one way or the other, you can kind of prepare for that a little bit more. And so I think that'll be the key tonight. Folks, we're going to take a break here and hear from GEUS for a second, and we'll be back with a little bit more game analysis, a temperature for first kickoff, and a few other things for y'all. We'll be back after this word from GEUS. And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium, as we are approximately 8 minutes away from kickoff, and it is a good night for some football. Archer, what's the temperature looking like?
It's looking like it's 91 degrees today. It's been a very hot day, so I'm happy to see it's actually coming down a little bit after that. The wind has also seemed to chill out a little bit tonight, with it only being around 6 miles per hour, blowing to the northwest side. So, as you mentioned, pretty nice night. A little hot now, but it should cool down by the time we're getting to the second half for sure.
I couldn't agree more, and you're right. It is a hot one, definitely hot compared to last week. And you know, I was at work today. That was outside, and it was a scorcher. But hopefully, like you said, it'll cool off a little bit for the second half. So, looking around the district tonight, we have Corsicana taking on Terrell in Terrell for their district opener. Corsicana boasts a record of 1-2, while Terrell's looking at a record of 2-1. Kaufman travels to Ennis tonight, as they're taking on the Ennis Lions at 7 o'clock. Kaufman and Ennis both have records of 1-2. Greenville, of course, tonight taking on Midlothian Heritage, as both teams are looking at an 0-3 record. Poteet and Crandall taking on each other tonight in Crandall. Crandall looking at a 3-0 record, while Poteet is sitting at 0-3. And Sulphur Springs is traveling to Mount Pleasant tonight for their district opener. So that's what it's looking like around the district, and we'll do our best to keep y'all up to date with a little bit of the scores and everything as that happens tonight. So we have the captains heading to midfield today, as we're going to see if we can get those names and numbers for you. It looks like number 1, Aiden Lewis, number 16, Caleb Yost, who is injured today, number 18, Jamorion Hamilton, as well as number 55, Caleb Yost, are the guys, Nick Just are the guys for the Lions. Archer, are you able to get any of those numbers for the Jaguars?
It's looking like number 9, that's the quarterback, Rutenbar. It looked like number 50 down there, Cooper Farnsworth. He's an offensive lineman. He's a senior. And in just a moment, I'll try and... Looks like 21, which is Jaden Moore. He's a defensive back. He's been making plays. And number 3 is Freeman Robinson. He's a senior wide receiver and defensive back. So a bunch of seniors on both sides of the field. And like always, seniors are supposed to be your leaders. So I expect these guys to be big players in this game tonight on both sides.
Yeah, definitely look to probably call those names a lot. We hope to not have to call them too many times, but they'll probably be some of the big hitters, as both teams are getting ready to head through their respective blow-ups and tear-throughs, and all getting ready. Of course, you know, for the Lions, we've got the flashes and the cheerleaders on the field that they're going to run through with the ROTC flags, and then, of course, on the other side, Midlothian's drill team as well as their cheerleaders. Got about 3 minutes till kickoff or so, as looking for just some good football, as here come the Heritage Jaguars onto the field, led out by some cheerleaders as well as several guys running across the field with flags that spell out Heritage. And one gentleman in Archer, is that a striped set of overalls leading the pack?
I do believe it definitely is, and there's one at the end of it as well. Some prideful guys tonight for the Heritage side.
Must be their spirit leaders. We'll see if we see those guys get involved in the game. No, of course, not going to be catching any passes or anything, but see what they do if Heritage scores or anything like that. So it is, in fact, also Men of Influence night tonight. So shout out to all of you gentlemen out there listening, and we appreciate everything y'all do to support our Lions and everything you do to help our boys get ready each week.
Yeah, and I believe there's a few of the Lion dads in that group as well. Like Bentley said, they're always helping out with the Lions. They're meeting constantly and talking about what to do for not just the team, but the community as well, I hear. So,
yeah.
Really great people there.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Talking to Bob, I know he went to a bunch of them last season. I think he may have been to one or so this season. Hadn't been able to hit as many of them. But if y'all have any time available, I believe they meet on Friday mornings maybe. They have breakfast for the guys in the locker room, weight room. And great thing if you have a little bit of free time, gentlemen, and you want to go out and help these boys and mentor them a little bit. It's always a great thing to be able to pass that knowledge on. So as we see the Lions enter their blow up and getting hyped up and ready to come out. And here they come, led by the ROTC flag carriers. And, of course, the band playing the fight song. And it's another special night tonight as middle school night for the band as they are joining the high schoolers. And a lot of those guys, 8th graders, they'll be up here next year.
Yeah, that was always a fun thing. I was in the middle school band, so the two times, once in 7th and once in 8th grade, it was always a great time to come experience the feeling of being up here with the big guys and, playing some instruments here and there and having fun.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. So the Lions tonight are going to be dressed in all red with white numerals outlined in black. So far look pretty easy to read. And the Heritage Jaguars are in red pants, white jerseys with red numerals outlined in blue, it looks like. So also pretty easy to read as we are getting ready for ROTC to bring the flags out to midfield, and then we'll have the national anthem here in just a second. And here they come. As we're going to
50-yard line as we honor America with the posting of the colors.
welcome back after that beautiful rendition of the national anthem as they're going going to exit the field, and we see the Lions talking a few things over and getting ready to take the field. Unfortunately, did not see, was looking at the captains too closely, and did not see what our first half setup is going to be here, but we will see that here in just 1 second.
Well, Bentley, it looks like Nick Just is preparing to kick off the ball, so either we deferred or they requested to receive the ball. However, we will not be starting with the ball.
Yeah, and it looks like we will probably be kicking from the north end, so the Jaguars will be going from south to north, my left to my right, to get us started here tonight.
Well, yeah, it looks like a good night for football. We saw the flags blowing pretty nicely, which means there's a good breeze out there, so they won't be too hot. Hopefully they're drinking enough water. We don't need any more cramps this season.
That is a big thing, is drink lots of water, lots of Gatorade, make sure you're staying hydrated. And talking about the sun setting and temperature maybe dropping, it looks like we've got shade from the 20 to the 25, so that's pretty good. And that'll only get better as the night goes along.
Yep, just the shadow of our press box right here that we're sitting in.
2 guys back for the Jaguars. Get those numbers as soon as I can as Just prepares to kick.
Just is kicking from the right hash with 4 to the right and 6 to the left, so I'm not sure if that's something normally he does, but looks like we're probably going to have a pop-over kick here from Just.
And the kick is up. And it's going to bounce out of bounds right about the 16 or 17 yard line. And Heritage's offense is going to come onto the field and get ready to go.
Not necessarily the way you want to start a game out. However, Nick Just has not been kicking recently for the Lions, so I'm assuming Joshua Rojas is out with an injury tonight, so Nick Just is just having to step up. As you know, he's obviously a starter on the offensive line.
Yeah, definitely a big anchor of their center. Big anchor is their center, and but he can also kick it too. So. All right, so Rutenbar for the Jaguars is joined by his running back Zako Davis in the backfield. He fakes the handoff to Davis. He's got number 11 open, and that is Ryan Satterwhite, as he gets all the way about to the 30-yard line before being taken down.
Looks like he was taken down by number 7. And that is Reagan Goggins, the senior cornerback, lined up against number 11 right there.
So a big pass there to start us off by the senior quarterback for the Heritage, as we see the referee signaling to the sideline. Figure out what that's about. Talking it over with the Greenville coach. And they decided that whatever it was is all good. It's 1st and 10 for the Jaguars, with Rutenbar back getting ready to take the snap from the Lions' 34-yard line. 1 wide receiver left, 2 wide receivers right. Rutenbar hands it to his running back, Zako Davis. Davis has got a big hole, and Davis is going to be into the end zone here with 11:34 left on the clock in the first quarter.
Now, honestly, that was a beautiful fake from the quarterback right there, Rutenbar. Completely faked not just me out, but the whole defense, it seemed.
Yeah, he definitely sold it well, and it was very convincing. Almost had me too, but then I saw him find that hole, and I was like, no, Davis has got the ball.
Looks like they kind of tricked out that they might run a 2-point conversion, and their field goal unit runs on the field.
It's number 14, Peto Cantu, the senior kicker, and the kick is up and good for the Jaguars. That makes the score 7-0 Jaguars, as Greenville's going to get the ball here with plenty of time left in the first quarter to make something happen, and make something happen several times, hopefully, this quarter.
Hopefully so. And as you mentioned earlier, we might see some Spirit guys out on the field, and it looks like we've got a Heritage man running down with a flag.
I believe he ran the length of the field, and it looked like he had a Superman cape on, so guess he may be a superhero over there at Heritage.
Well, that is a long run, and he did it fairly fast, I'd say. He must be some sort of athlete.
Yeah, well, the end zones are what, each about 10 yards, so that makes it about a 120-yard run there for the Spirit Man. So, and it will be number 14, Peto Cantu, out again to also handle the kickoff duties for Midlothian Heritage. Greenville's got two guys back at about the, well, they keep going, about the 10-yard line. I believe that's number 2, Caleb Hale, and maybe number 5, Chris Whitus.
Looks like we've got a 2-kicker setup here, kind of, from the Heritage team.
And that kick is going to go out of bounds, too, at the Greenville 33-yard line. So that'll give Greenville some really good field position to start this game.
It's always fun to see the strange kickoff routines from different teams. They do have a second kicker listed on their roster. However, that was not the second guy out there. That was number 80, a linebacker and defensive lineman out there faking a kick. So maybe we'll see different techniques throughout the night from the Heritage team.
Hey, you never know. I mean, Greenville's got a lineman that can kick too, so maybe they just don't have him listed as a kicker. So we do see number 10, Bryson Sanders, in at quarterback with the injury to Rodriguez last week. Sanders has got 3 guys in the backfield with him. He takes the snap, hands it off to, it looks like Renner. Renner almost gets around the edge, picks up about a yard, but is quickly met by a pile of Jaguars.
Yeah, and it looks like the first Jaguar in that pile was number 21, Jaden Moore, the defensive back that we mentioned earlier today.
And so we're probably going to be calling Moore's name a lot, as they're going to call that a pickup of 1 and bring up 2nd and 9 for the Lions. Got number 2, Caleb Hale, as well as number 1, Aiden Lewis, split out left. H-back in the backfield, as well as a running back with Sanders. Sanders takes the snap. He runs up the middle, gets around to the edge. He's got a lot of room, but is quickly closed up, as it looks like it's going to be a pickup of about 8 there.
Looks like he was just barely grabbed by the shoelaces by number 44. That is Jamie De Los Santos, a defensive lineman.
It was a good pronunciation of that. Very impressed.
Thank you.
That's going to bring up 3rd and 1, as he was just barely short of the first down. So 3rd and 1 for the Lions on their own 47-yard line. As Sanders is conveying some things to his linemen. He's got 2 receivers out left again. H-back in the backfield, as well as a running back. He fakes the handoff to Renner. He's got 2 guys on him and is taken down for a sack in the backfield.
Looked like 2 guys that broke through were number 10, Chris Robinson, the linebacker, and number, I believe it might have been 27, that is Luke McCain, another defensive lineman.
And there is a flag on the play, offsides on the Jaguars, so that'll bring up a 1st down for Greenville and place the ball on the Jaguars' 48-yard line. So tough break on the sack, but thankfully there was a flag that erased it for the Lions. So 1st and 10 in Jaguars territory now. Sanders takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Renner, rolls to his left. He's got his man downfield. It's number 2, Caleb Hale. Hale makes a man miss, but is quickly taken down by the next guy.
And once again, the next guy was 44, Jamie De Los Santos. So probably another name like Moore that we're going to hear quite a lot tonight. But a nice play, nice pickup by the Lions there on 1st down.
Yeah, a big pickup of about 7 there, so that'll bring up 2nd and 3 for the Lions here from the 42-yard line. Sanders looking to the sideline, getting his signals from his coaches. Hale and Lewis change from the left side to the right side. Looks like they're running a play very similar, just flipped. Fakes the handoff to Renner. Somebody's in the backfield very quickly. And it looks like Sanders is going to be taken down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be a loss of 1.
Yeah, you said fake. It may have been a miscue from the running back there because he kind of looked confused and made what he could with that before he was taken down by number 2, Jalen Hawkins.
Yeah, I think you may be right. We may see that a little bit in this first half with Renner being out last week and this being his first game back. But no doubt, I definitely think the Lions will get it figured out soon, as they have 3 receivers out right and running back in the backfield. Put a man in motion. That's number 25, Greg Washington. Sanders rolls to his right. He's looking downfield. He's got a lot of room. Makes the first man miss, makes the second guy miss, but is taken down by the third guy short of the first down.
Yeah, it looked like he was kind of looking for Caleb Hale out there, who was tripping and stumbling. He may have been pushed off by a linebacker there, but he missed his man and took off by himself.
Yeah, and a pickup of about 2 on the play, so it'll bring up 4th and 2 for the Lions. And it looks like they are going to stay aggressive and maybe go for it here with the ball on the Jaguars' 40. Sanders gets his play from the sidelines and walks up and tells his lineman what's going on. Got 2 guys out right again. 1 guy behind him, and timeout Greenville. So we'll take a timeout with them and be back after this word from GEUS.
When GEUS first brought electricity to Greenville, the world looked like this. Today, more than 130 years later, the world looks like this. Some things change over time, and some things stay the same. Competitive rates, reliable electricity, and hometown customer service. GEUS, delivering reliable electric service to our hometown for more than 130 years.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium. I'm Bentley Love with Archer O'Neill and Matthew Middleton, and we're very glad y'all joined us tonight. 8 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Lions looking at a 4th and 2 situation. Still talking it over, figuring out exactly what the plan is.
Yeah, going for an early 4th down conversion like this, I like it. I like the hustle. I like the call from the coaches here. So I hope they can get a good play going and extend this drive any longer.
Yeah, and I don't know if we would have seen this in preseason, but district play, it's a big thing, and you gotta win as many games as possible. So they're going to be aggressive here. Sanders takes the snap. He's got some room, and he found his man downfield. They're going to call it incomplete, and it definitely was. It looked like there was a little shove in there with, I believe that was Renner and the DB.
Yeah, there definitely was some contact behind the 5 yards that it's allowed, but maybe they thought it was mutual between Noah Davenport and that was Jaden Moore again. So early turnover on downs for the Lions, but it wasn't bad field position to give up here.
No, and it does look like there's an injured Jaguar on the field, so hopefully he'll be okay as he does pop up and walks off, it looks like, under his own power. That's number 44, Archer. Can you get that gentleman's name?
Yes, that's De Los Santos again. So for their sake, hope he's okay, and he'll have a nice little break here while the Jaguars are on offense.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay, but Greenville, if he misses a drive or 2 of defense, we will not be too disappointed with that. But hopefully the gentleman is okay and nothing too serious for him. So Rutenbar is in the backfield, of course, accompanied by Davis with 1 receiver out left and 2 out right. Rutenbar takes the snap, hands it off to Davis. Davis goes up the middle, but is quickly met by several Lions after a pickup of about 3.
Yeah, that defensive line came in there and stopped him right up. It looked like first one to hit him was Cody Waldrop when the rest joined him in. So that'll bring up 2nd and 7, I'd say, for the Jaguars.
Yeah, and Waldrop is a big player for the Lions. I don't know if any of y'all remember Khalil Parker from last season, but him and Waldrop played very closely together last year, so learned a lot from him. Man in motion for the Jaguars. Rutenbar takes the snap. He's got a lot of time. He's got his man downfield, and that's going to be a pass interference penalty on, it looks like, Mark Dumas for the Lions, as he appeared to just shove the Jaguars receiver down there.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure what the plan there was. Maybe he was just trying to show his dominance early in this game, but definitely gave up 15 yards instead.
Yeah, let him know that nothing's going to come easy there, but that's not exactly how you want to do it, as that was number 3, Freeman Robinson, for the Jaguars. So that's going to move the Jaguars all the way up to their own 42-yard line for a new set of downs. Rutenbar standing on the 47-yard line as he takes the snap, fakes the handoff, finds number 16. 16 almost had a little room, but was taken down by a whole pride of Lions.
Yeah, and it looked like he couldn't escape number 7, Reagan Goggins' ankle trap that he had on him, and the rest of the pride came out and helped him out there.
Yeah, that was number 16, Camden Parker, on the reception for the Jaguars. Is good catch, pickup of about 3 on the play, bring up 2nd and 7 from the Lions' 39-yard line. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield with him, as well as 2 receivers out left and 1 out right, as Rutenbar prepares to take the snap. Rutenbar takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Davis, finds number 10 in the flat. He's got a lot of room, is almost taken down by Davenport, and breaks through several defenders before being pushed out about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that play was possible from a huge block from number 88, it seemed, Cohen Gorlowski. However, looks like the refs threw a flag on that on that block for a holding, I'd assume.
I think you're probably right, so that'll bring that play back. Be a 5-yard penalty, I believe, which will bring up, it looks like, probably about 2nd and 11 here. So good break for the Lions. That was a huge pickup.
It was, and a good play call from them. The good handoff and throwing it to the other running back in the backfield, as Zako runs off the field for a small little break, I'm assuming.
So not quite sure what all that was about, but that's going to bring up 2nd and 5 here for the Jaguars. Rutenbar standing in his own backfield without anybody back there. 2 receivers out left, 2 receivers right. He finds number 11, but I'm not sure if that was a catch or if the ground helped with it.
Looks like they're going to call it a completed pass there. Like you said, I'm fairly unsure if that was actually a catch, but he was met on the floor by number 8, or number 0, I believe, Daniel Renner.
Yeah, and of course he was going away from the press box, so we could only see his back, but the ref said it was good enough for them, so it's good enough for us. 3 receivers out left, 1 out right. Rutenbar takes the snap, finds Davis in the flat, and Davis is forced out of bounds at about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, forced out by Tyler Trexel, so maybe I was correct earlier when I stumbled and said 8, because Tyler Trexel's wearing 8 and just made another play right there.
I believe you're right. I believe that was Trexel both times. It looks like they may not be playing Renner on defense right now, letting him just play some offense, but we'll see if that changes as the game goes along. Rutenbar takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Davis, finds number 3 in the backfield. 3's dancing, but can't outdance all the Lions as he's taken down for, it looks like it'll be no gain. And that was number 3, Freeman Robinson, on the catch there.
Yeah, good stand by the Lions. You know, it kind of looked like he was swung around, which normally tends to be because of a face mask call, but it didn't seem like anything was called, so we'll take that no pickup and force a 3rd down right here.
Yeah, so it'll be 3rd and 3 from the 25-yard line for the Jaguars. 5.5 minutes left on the clock here, as the Jaguars are looking to put another touchdown on the board here early. Rutenbar in his own backfield by himself again, brings Davis in motion, fakes the handoff to Davis and goes right up the middle for a 1st down, is taken down by several Lions.
Yeah, these fakes have been lethal from the Jaguars on the other side. They've been faking me the whole night already, and probably more of that to come as he was taken down by 8 again. Trexel right there making some big plays tonight.
Yeah, it looked like a pickup of about 10 there, as it'll bring up 1st and 10 here from the Lions' 15-yard line. So they can obviously still pick up a 1st down without getting into the end zone, but if they do, they'll be working very close to the Lions' end zone. Rutenbar, the man in motion, that's Freeman. That Freeman Robinson fakes the handoff and gets around the edge, and looks like he's going to get in for a Jaguars touchdown.
Yeah, he was met by Noah Davenport right there, and who kind of swung him right towards the right direction, right into the end zone, as he reached out and got it in.
So the Jaguars again act like they're going to go for 2, but opt to go for just the extra point with 4.5 minutes left on the clock here. That is number 12, Bradley Waxler, as the holder, and number 14, Pato Cantu, as the kicker. Waxler gets the hold. Cantu puts it up, and it's good, as that's going to put the score Heritage Jaguars 14, Greenville Lions 0, with 4.5 minutes left to go. As we see the Spirit leader run the 120 yards again, this time in his overalls.
It is followed by 5 other people running 120 yards. Hopefully that's the last time they have to run the 120 yards, I'd say. Save them a little break tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely be rooting for that. As the Lions talking it over, they break. They go out for the reception. It's going to be, looks like number 0, Daniel Renner, and number 2, Caleb Hale back deep for the Lions. Cantu getting ready for the kick, with number 80, Dominique Farmer, out there too. So I believe we're going to see Cantu kick it, but you never know. That kick is up, and it's downed at the 32-yard line by, it looks like number 23, Jaden Johnson for the Lions. Jaden Johnson is a senior running back and linebacker for the Lions. He gets a lot of playing time and is a big part of that Lions offense and defense, but more so the defense, as he's been a very big leader for the Lions so far this season.
I would love to talk more about Jaden Johnson. However, I believe that was Damian Bankston who caught that fair catch on that kick, number 22. So,
well, I apologize, folks, but Archer, thank you for keeping me honest. As Sanders is in the pocket, hands it off to Renner. Renner tries to make his first man miss, but is quickly met by a second guy and unable to shake him.
Yeah, it looked like the defensive line broke right through that offensive line and stopped him up after just about, I'd say, 5 inches.
Yeah, so it'll bring up 2nd and 10 here for the Lions. As we see number 1, Aiden Lewis, and number 2, Caleb Hale out left. Hale in the slot, Lewis standing on the 30. Sanders with a H-back and a running back in the backfield. Takes the snap, hands it off to Renner, or fakes the handoff to Renner, and is met by a lot of pressure in the backfield and taken down for a sack, and that looks like a loss of about 6 on the play.
Yeah, and it looked like number 7 may have been the first one to break through. That is Demerick Isaac, the first time we're saying that name tonight.
So they blew the whistle dead at the 30-yard line, which will bring up 3rd and 11 here for the Lions. Sanders standing on his own 25-yard line, looking at 3rd and a ways to go. 3 receivers out left, and he puts Renner in motion. Low snap, he drops it, and is taken down in the backfield again for a loss of about 3 to bring up 4th and 14 for the Lions.
Once again, Demerick was the first one around that edge and caught him on an unlucky play from the offense, and that'll force the punt team out onto the field for the Greenville Lions.
Be interesting to see who's doing the punting tonight for the Lions without Yost. I believe it's going to be Reagan Goggins. He punted a little bit last week when Yost went down, but also before that punted quite a bit last season for the Lions.
Yeah, he's been working all off season, working on his kicking game. I think probably just for this instance, as if anybody needs it.
High snap, he gets it. The punt is up, and it's going to go out of bounds. It looks like the Greenville 38-yard line, so not the best punt in the world, but that's the thing about Goggins. His first punt may not be the best, but if he has to do it multiple times, it ends up being pretty good by the time it gets going a little bit.
Yeah, and it's real unlucky for him on that first one to have a high snap and have to rush the rest of it. You know, Reagan's isn't a very, very tall person, so it's probably a struggle to get that punt off, but happy he at least got it off rather than it being blocked.
Yeah, and he was met by several defenders in the backfield, several big guys too at that, so hard to get it over their heads, but he was thankfully able to get it off. 3 receivers right for the Jaguars. Of course, Rutenbar and Davis in the backfield. Ball will be placed at Greenville's 33-yard line. Rutenbar takes the snap, hands it off to Davis. Davis gets around the left and has a lot of room, but is met by several lines and pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, they're a little far away from me, so I can't quite tell the numbers. Looks like probably 35. Oh, 38. All right, 8. Sorry. Number 8, Tyler Trexel once again on the play.
So that'll bring the Jaguars all the way up to their own 31-yard line here. One receiver out left, 3 to the right. Rutenbar takes the snap, finds Davis out of the backfield, and Davis gets out to about the 15-yard line before being taken down.
Yeah, he was met by 2. He was tripped up by Goggins and smacked to the ground by Aiden Lewis right there on that one, on a pickup of about 4 or 5 there.
Yeah, pickup of we're going to call it 4, so that'll bring up 2nd and 6 here for the Jaguars from the Lions' 15-yard line. And that's something cool about Aiden Lewis. He's a big player for the Lions on defense, but is also stepping up on offense too. Rutenbar takes the snap, rolls to his left. He's got some time, finds number 15, and number 15 is going to bowl over some defenders and be in for a touchdown.
Yeah, it looked like he ran a drag route right across the middle of the defense as Rutenbar rolled out and gave him time to get across the field and lined it up fairly perfectly against us right there.
Yeah, and that was number 15, Landon Wright, on the reception. So that was the Rutenbar to Wright connection and makes the score 20-0 as Midlothian Heritage runs their field goal unit out on the field. And Cantu's kick is up, and it was nearly blocked, but it is up, and it is good for a extra point there, bring the score to 21-0. Minute 50 left here as we see the spirit leaders, or whatever you want to call them, for Heritage High School running the length of the field.
As I mentioned earlier, let's hope they get so tired they can't do that anymore, as well as the other Heritage people on the field.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Archer. I'm looking forward to not seeing that, hopefully. Like we mentioned before, too, Greenville does come into this game a little shorthanded as they are missing their starting quarterback. And Sanders has done a all right job so far, but it's hard when you're launched into the starting role in the first game of district here. But that is why we have the preseason, and hopefully the Lions will be able to get something going here in the first half.
Yeah, it's rough getting banged up in that last game right before district play, so hopefully we'll see all those guys come back sooner than later and healthy as can be.
So Renner's back deep, and we did see a kick by number 80 there that time, as it's going to be caught by number 11 at the 36-yard line or so.
Yeah, number 11, Noah Davenport, seemed to be ready for that extra kicker. Maybe something they had seen on film before and were kind of slightly expecting this game.
Yeah, and I bet it's not something they do too often, but when it works, it may work really well for them. Who knows? But it worked pretty well for the Lions there. It's going to bring the Lions to the 34-yard line. And that's number 12, Ethan Brandon, at quarterback this drive. So Brandon was the JV quarterback last year. He drops back. He's looking for his man and is taken down for a loss of about 4 as there was nothing going and the pocket just kind of collapsed there.
Yeah, he kind of looked ready to throw the ball, so maybe he's more of the gunslinger and Sanders is more of the dual threat kind of guy. So maybe they're coming out fast and coming out hard this late first quarter.
Yeah, I think you may be right. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 13 here for the Lions. And like I was saying before, Brand was the quarterback for JV last year and did pretty well. But transitioned to linebacker this season. But we're going to see him here take the snap and hand off to his running back. The running back picks up about 8 on the play. His number, I can't quite see. Number 20, Tobias Abram for the Lions.
Yeah, and it looked like there was an offsides or encroachment on the defense right there, so we're going to get an extra 5 on that one.
That's a big break for the Lions there, is need all the yardage you can get anytime you can get it. bring up 2nd and 9 here for the Lions. Brand gets his play from the sideline. Tells his center what he's got. Standing at the 32-yard line. Man in motion. That's Greg Washington, number 25. Brand rolls to his right, looking for his man. He's got his man downfield, and that's going to bring the Lions to about the 42-yard line, about 3 yards short of the first down there. Bring up 3rd and 3, as that was number 1, Aiden Lewis on the catch.
Yeah, and he was taken down by Braden LaFleur, number 6, and that was, again, Jaden Moore, the senior defensive back.
Braden LaFleur. LaFleur, that's an interesting name.
It is indeed.
Brand is looking for his play from the sideline. Coach is talking it over. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. And we will be back after this message from GEUS with the second quarter.
New, better, fast. The same excellent reliability and hometown service you've always counted on, now with faster speeds. Whether it is streaming, gaming, surfing the web, or working from home, GEUS is connecting you to the world. Sign up today at GEUS.org or by calling 903-457-2800.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium for the second quarter of Lions football tonight. Archer, do you have any scores for me from around the district?
I do. I have one currently with Terrell leading Corsicana 7-6 in the second quarter, as Poteet and Crandall are playing and Kaufman and Innes are playing. However, I don't believe we have a live score for those two games as of now.
Well, maybe that'll change and we'll be able to get something a little bit later, but I appreciate that score about the Terrell game. What were those two teams' records coming into this game?
Terrell's 2-1 and Corsicana's the opposite at 1-2 before this game.
Okay, so we back with some Lions football here as Brand takes the snap and rolls to his left and is taken down in the backfield for a loss of about 6, it looks like, on the play. 5, excuse me, unfortunately.
Yeah, and another new name calling today, that's Dax Montelongo, the junior linebacker who made that shoelace tackle there, number 20.
Boy, that's quite the last name.
It's quite a long last name, I'd say.
It is a very long last name. I'm glad my last name's just 4 letters. It's real easy to spell. So with that play, we're going to see the Lions trot the punting unit out as it is 4th and 9 here. 4th and 8, excuse me. So Reagan Goggins, number 7, back deep to punt. He gets the snap. It's a little bit high. He bobbles it, but he's still able to get it off, and it's a much better punt this time as they leveled him. And Goggins looks to not be feeling too great after that. And there's a flag on the play for that, as well as a flag down by the where it was caught. So we'll see what that's all about, as Goggins is still down and holding his head as he's visibly not feeling good. And that's not what you want to see at all if you're a Lions fan, as he is a big part on that defense. And their punter right now with GEUS down too.
Yeah, he was clobbered by, it seems, number 21, who got a stern talking to by the official right there. You know, it seems more than what it's probably going to be, and hope the best for Reagan Goggins there.
Yeah, like I said, definitely never want to see an injury, not in this state at all. So trainers looking over, as we do see some trainers, it looks like from Heritage, walking over. But Goggins gets up and is being helped off the field, as it looks like he's not really wanting to put much pressure on that right leg there, which I believe is his kicking leg.
Yeah, they got him right when his leg was coming down and took his right leg completely out.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to see at all.
Not only for the special team side, but he's also been backing up for our hurt player, Jaden Gibson. So we're now going to be down to our 3rd string cornerback on that side. So we'll have to see who comes in for that.
Yeah, and it looks like those penalties are going to be offsetting, so they're going to punt again. And that's number 0, Daniel Renner, back there to punt for the Lions now. So don't have any information on if Renner's done much punting before, but we're about to see what he's got and see what he can do. That's a tough break, too, because you never want to see an injury, obviously, but typically that helps you out a little bit. So Renner gets the punt up, and it gets to about the 48, and takes a Greenville bounce before it goes out of bounds. It looked to be about the 40 that it went out of bounds, or they're going to call it the 44.
You know, not a horrible punt for somebody who we have no idea if he's ever even punted before.
Yeah, and watching Renner play, I'm sure he's done a little bit, but I know he wasn't planning on punting tonight, so not a bad punt at all.
An update on that replacement for Goggins. It looks like number 30, Cameron Clayton's out there, the sophomore. And Renner is thrown back up to safety after he was not really playing defense this game so far.
Yeah, so blow for the Lions for sure, as it looks like I'm going to run a switch there as number 12 gets the ball, but throws it downfield to number 88, and it's out of bounds, as that was Bradley Waxler on the pass after the little switch there for the Jaguars.
Yeah, 33 was applying the pressure. Cody Waldrop, as they did actually attack number 30, Cameron Clayton, who's so far so good on that side, so maybe we'll see them attacking him more often this game.
Yeah, and some good sportsmanship, too, there by Waldrop, as after the play he offered a hand to Waxler and helped him up. And it makes sense to go after number 30 first, because we've seen him at offense some this season, but not at defense. So hands it off to Zako Davis. Davis is dancing around trying to find a window. He picks up about 4 on the play, but not too terribly much.
Yeah, and once again, back-to-back plays. Cody Waldrop seems to have been the first one to Mr. Zako right there, as that'll bring up third down and fairly long. So maybe we'll see a Lions stop right now.
Yeah, and Davis came up after that play, hurting looks a little bit like on his right knee, but he's staying in the game, so it must be nothing too serious. As Rutenbar is joined by Davis in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers out right and 1 out left. Takes the snap. He's looking downfield. Davis throws a block. He's got some time. Is met by a lot of pressure, but he finds his man. That's number 11 downfield. That was Ryan Satterwhite, as that's going to be a big pickup for the Jaguars and plenty to get a first down.
Yeah, there was 2 men from the Lions pressuring the quarterback, who got there just after he had thrown it before Satterwhite was hit by, it seemed like, Renner and Trexel.
Satterwhite drops back with the snap. He's got a little time, but Waldrop is tailing him as he decides to go with his legs and picks up about 9 there. And Archer, isn't he their leading rusher on the season?
Yeah,
per game?
so coming into this game, he had around 235, and Zako Davis actually only had like 3 yards less at 232. So he's very much so a dual threat quarterback, as he's also, like I mentioned earlier, got 560 yards on the season.
Yeah, so that's good that was really his first long run so far of the night. So it will bring up 2nd and 2. It's going to be for the Jaguars. As Rutenbar takes the snap, hands it off to Davis. Davis has got a hole, and he's going to make it into the end zone as he drags 3 Lions with him. As Davis, not too big, standing at 5'8", 180, but is a freight train when he gets moving.
Absolutely. 180 seems a lot bigger when he's running at you that fast.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to tackle him, that's for sure.
And that's why I was the kicker.
I don't blame you. So Cantu comes on for the extra point here. As Waxler gets the hold, Cantu puts his kick up, and it's going to be no good. So that'll keep the score at Jaguars 27, Greenville 0. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back no, we're not. We're going to stay here. Matthew said, Bentley, what are you doing? We're going to talk about this a little bit more as we see the Spirit guys running on the field again, and I don't think he's tired, the guy leading the pack, but the rest of them sure are, as they're definitely dragging behind.
Yeah, he seems to have took off, but it actually looked like there was some confusion on that special teams play from the Lions there. It seemed like normally you've got a block side and a scoop and score side, and it seemed like we had 2 block sides and no scoop and score sides, so they ran into each other. So hopefully they'll get that cleaned up before the next one.
Yeah, definitely got to get that cleaned up, as they did luck out and it was no good there, but you got to make sure you got all your assignments right and get all your bases covered. So we see Greenville coming out for the return, as we do see number 12, Ethan Brand, still in on the return team, even though he's playing quarterback now. Or was last drive. We may see Sanders get in again this drive. Who knows? We'll see after this reception by the Lions.
Looks like we're preparing for a deep kick here. We've got Abram and Hale back as the kicker. It takes a long run to the ball.
And that's going to go out the back of the end zone, as that'll bring the ball out to the 25, I believe.
Yeah, a nice 67-yard field goal, or 67-yard kickoff from the kicker there.
Yeah, Cantu seems to have a pretty big leg on him there. He kicked that one quite a ways.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they haven't been doing that the whole time rather than giving us the ball on the 40.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was interesting when they did only run one kicker out there this time. So we are going to see number 10, Bryson Sanders, in for the Lions here to get us started. He's got 3 guys in the backfield with him, as well as a receiver split out left and 1 split out right. Hands the ball off to, that's Abram. Abram picks up about 12 yards there on the play to pick up a Lions first down. And that's the thing, Abram, when he gets going, he's extremely hard to stop.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't tell you who he hit first because he dragged him the whole way with the rest of him.
Yeah, it looked like he drug about 2 or 3 guys there before they were able to get him down. So bring up 1st and 10 here for the Lions from the 37-yard line.
I would like to say I love the way that we both kind of are going college style with the play calling, with the big signs and everything.
I agree. Sanders takes the snap, hands it off, fakes the handoff to Abram, tries to get around the right, but is quickly taken down by a Jaguars defender.
Yeah, Jaguar defender number 28, Maddox Aldape. As they rush 88 off, Jacob Irvin, the Lions.
So we'll see 2nd and 12 here for the Lions. They've got number 1, Aiden Lewis, as well as number 11, Noah Davenport, split out left, and 3 running backs in the backfield with Sanders. Sanders fakes the run to his right, pitches it to his trailing guy, as that was number 2, Caleb Hale, that took the pitch there and picked up about 4 on the play.
Yeah, and it looked like there was a little bit of extracurricular activities from number 69 there, Victor Orsonio, who ended up on the 45-yard line.
Well, we'll see if that continues, as it seems like Coach Collins is pretty good about his boys staying disciplined, so I don't know if we'll see too much more of that, but we might. Sanders standing on his own 34-yard line. Takes the snap. It's a little low, but he handles it. Looking to his left. Nothing there, so he decides to run for it, and he's going to pick up a lot of yardage there, as he's going to get all the way to the Jaguars 35, and that's a pickup of, good gosh, about 30 yards there.
Yeah, he found the biggest hole I've ever seen and took it. He took the opportunity and ran with it.
Literally. So I'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Lions here from the Jaguars 35. As what looked like it may be a broken play turned into something good there. Sanders takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. That's Abram. Abram's got a little bit of room, picks up a Lions first down there, gets all the way out to the 25-yard line.
And I'll tell you, Abram wanted that one because it looked like Sanders did not want to hand the ball off, but he snatched it from Sanders and made do with it.
Abram said, "It's mine, I'm taking it, and I'm getting us a first down here." 7 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock here for the Lions, as they are threatening here and late in the second quarter, trying to get something going. Sanders relaying stuff to his linemen. Again, 2 guys in the backfield, 2 out right. Fakes the handoff to Abram, gets to his right. He's got a little bit of room. Is almost taken down, but shakes off the first guy and is taken down by the second after a pickup of maybe a yard.
Yeah, it looked like number 4 went in for the big hit. That's Aaron Cohen's, as number 62 finished the job off. That's Jatarion Robinson. So 2 new guys on the field. Seems like they've got a good rotation of men out there to handle business.
Yeah, and like you said, 2 new names, so That is been the key so far for them. They keep rotating guys in and keep having success. So, see number 10, Bryson Sanders, taking the snap. Looking to his left. He's got his guy open downfield across the middle, as that was number 2, Caleb Hale, for the Lions there to pick up a Lions first down.
Yeah, he seemed like he threaded it right in between number 21 and number 1 right there. So pretty good throw from the quarterback there. Hopefully we'll see this momentum carry on into the end zone.
Yeah, a little bit of a dangerous throw, but he was able to thread the needle and pick up a first down there. So Lions got 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line, it looks like. As Sanders takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's looking to his left. He's got number 25, Greg Washington, with nobody around for a Lions touchdown. As Washington does a little dance in the end zone, and it looks like there may be a flag on the play for it. But that gentleman was enjoying his receiving touchdown.
He was indeed, and it definitely cost him before. And it's not really going to cost him, but it's probably going to cost that kicker some damage. And that's not a fun thing as a kicker, having a penalty called and it's only enforced on you.
And you weren't, well, I guess technically Just was out there because he also plays center, but he didn't do anything. So Just is getting ready for the kick here. And that is number 12, Ethan Brandon, as the holder. Snap is a little high, and it's bobbled as Brandon's trying to make something out of nothing, and that is not going to happen as he's taken down by a bunch of Jaguars.
Yeah, it looked like they had the fire call ready in case of a bad snap, and, well, it happened, and it's something you don't always expect from those blockers there. They're kind of going job 1 to block, and job 2, oh, wait, I got to go and run. So didn't see that one turn out very well as Brand comes off without a helmet.
Yeah, and his kicker Just was able to pick it up for him and take it off, but he lost his lid on that play. So that'll bring the score to Jaguars 27, Lions 6, with a tick under 6 minutes left to go here in this second quarter. As Lions making a little something happen here, as Just is heading down to the opposite end now to also do the kickoff.
Yeah, that's a dreadful run, running from the 10 all the way down to the other 30, 35 area as a kicker, you know, and especially as Just, who's also the center, who had a full drive of that. So
yeah, you know, I bet he's not doesn't want obviously Heritage to score again, but he'd probably like a little bit of a breather here, maybe a penalty or something to slow the game down a little bit.
Absolutely, any breather is good for him right there. As I mentioned previously, that celebration penalty is definitely just going to affect Just here, as he's going to be kicking from his own 25-yard line. So I'd assume we're going to see as deep of a kick as we can get and hopefully stop him pretty early.
Yeah, and it looks like Jaguars are going to set up their return men. That's number 3, Freeman Robinson, as well as it looks like maybe number 4, Aaron Cohen's at the 33-yard line. And they drop back a little bit more to about the 30. As Just takes his steps back.
Looks like he's got 6 to his left and 4 to his right as he looks aimed towards the right side of the field.
And it's a pretty good kick there for Just, as he's going to get it all the way to the 35. And that's number 3, Freeman Robinson, for the Jaguars, as he's forced out of bounds at it looks like the Greenville 42-yard line maybe.
And man, I wish somebody would cut Just a break, because now he's got to go get his kicking tee and get back off the field now. So hopefully he'll have a nice empty seat on that bench to take a breather.
Yeah. They're going to bring the ball back to the Lions' 49-yard line. So a pretty good kick by Just, as he got it all the way to about the 35 there, but number 3, Freeman Robinson, was able to find a little bit of space and move the ball up the field a little ways. So Rutenbar joined by Davis in the backfield. Rutenbar takes the snap, but there's multiple penalties on the plays. It looks like both sides jumped.
Yeah, you know, I think this is one of those funny calls. It's false start on everybody but the center.
I think you may be right.
So that'll push them back an extra 5 yards and give Lions a nice bonus to not be on their own half to start this drive out.
Without a doubt. So 1st and 15 for the Jaguars here from their own 46-yard line. As Rutenbar takes the snap, hands it to Davis. Davis has got a little room, but is quickly taken down by a Lion. I believe that's number 18 there, after a pickup of about 7.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. It looks like 18 number Jamorian Hamilton on that stop. So, as I mentioned, a good 5-yard pushback gets him 2nd and 8 here to start this second down.
Yeah, so 2nd and 8 after that penalty and the 7-yard pickup. Would have been 2nd and 3 without the penalty, so we'll take it. Rutenbar takes a little bit of a high snap, runs into his running back, hands it off to number 3, Freeman Robinson, who trips and falls at the 44-yard line. They were running into everybody, tripping over anything there was. I think they may have even tripped over the air a little bit on that play.
There was definitely something wrong with that play call there, because it seemed like it looked like Zako Davis bumped into number 9, the quarterback, who then bumped into 3, who then tripped over nothing. So,
hey man, that play was. Casper may have been on that play for the Lions, and somebody grabbed his ankle, but it wasn't a play because he went down without being touched. So 3rd and 6 here, as Rutenbar rolls to his right. He looks for his man. He's got him downfield. That's number 3, Freeman Robinson, in for a Jaguars touchdown.
It is indeed. As Renner kind of went for that pass deflection and just seemed to miss the pass. And it kind of looks like they're going for the second. No, not the 2-point conversion.
They like to try to make us think they're going to, but they have yet to. So they are going to bring on the kicking unit, as we'll see Pato Cantu kick again for Midlothian here. So the kick is up by Cantu, and it's good there, as that is going to bring the score Jaguars 34, Lions 6, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back after this word from GEUS.
Conserving energy is important to us here at GEUS. We even pay rebates when you buy energy-efficient appliances. Your conservation helps all GEUS customers. In the future, we will need to build new electric generators, and this can be expensive. And with our population growing, we will need that power. That's why we give rebates for Energy Star appliances. So think about replacing your bulbs with super efficient LED bulbs or adding insulation to your attic. Together, we can help all GEUS customers by doing our part. Check out our rebates online, and remember, GEUS is always ready to serve and assist you in any way we can.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium. Once again, I am Bentley Love, Archer O'Neill's doing color, and Matthew Middleton is working the controls over there. We are so glad y'all are joining us tonight, as it is obviously dark here, as it's 7:54 now, and 4.5 minutes left to go here in this second quarter, as we await a halftime show from the bands, and they're both getting ready on the north end of the field.
You know, Bentley, I'm going to expect another deep kick here.
I think you're right, as that is going to be a very deep kick, and it's going to be taken by the Lions man at the 1-yard line, or so. That's number 2, Caleb Lewis. He's looking for some area, Caleb Hale. He gets out to about the 20. There's a flag coming all the way back from the ref standing at about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, normal things we'll see flags on are blocking the backs from the receiving team, or blindside blocks, or a blindside hit from the kicking team. So we'll have to see what the refs are going to call here.
Yeah. There's a big kick again by Cantu. Kid's definitely got a leg.
And it looks like they called holding on the receiving team, so that's going to push the Lions back a little bit here to start this next drive out, sorry.
Yeah, not exactly what you want, is that play is going to back the Lions up, and they had some decent field position there. Wasn't the best in the world, but pretty good considering he ran it all the way from the 1.
It was indeed, but I almost would have said I'd leave that and take it on the 25 rather.
Yeah, definitely with the penalty, because that is going to back them up to their own 10-yard line, so not great position for the Lions at all. as they're looking at 1st and 10 from their own 10. Talk it over. Sanders and his offense heading out to the ball. Sanders with 3 guys in the backfield. Takes the snap a little low, but he fakes the handoff to his running back. He's got some room to his left. Picks up a blocker. He's got a long way as he gets all the way to about the 33. Tries to dance a little bit, but is taken down by another defender there. So a huge pickup.
Yeah, he told his receiver right there and said, hey, you get him, and took off.
Yeah, without a doubt. And great use of your resources there, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got caught from behind, just barely escaped that one as he got a nice gain of 12 or 22. Sorry, I can't tell.
You're good, 22. So 1st and 10 there for the Lions now at their own 32-yard line. Sanders takes the snap, rolls to his left. He's got some room. He gets out to the left and is taken down at, it looks like, the 39-yard line there. So that'll be a pickup of about 7.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, he seems more of like the rushing running back rather than the passing quarterback who we saw earlier.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. And we saw Sanders, he can throw the ball too, but he definitely likes to move it with his legs. Reminds me a lot of Micah Simpson from a few years back.
Absolutely.
So Sanders takes the snap, hands it to his running back. That's number 0, Daniel Renner. Renner's got some space as he's going to get all the way out to, it looks like, the 45, maybe 46-yard line there before being taken down.
Taken down by Zach Haggerty, a sophomore on the Tigers defense, or Jaguars defense. Sorry, all these cats.
You're good. Big cat district, that's for sure. So 46-yard line here for the Lions as they're moving the ball pretty well here, 1st and 10. It's a man in motion a little bit. Sanders hands it off to Renner. Renner gets around the right, has a lot of room. He's going. He beats that man and is taken down at the back as he gets all the way to about the 15-yard line.
And that right there is our track star, Daniel Renner, right there, running all the way down to, as you said, the 14-yard line. It seems that they're going to place that ball on. Never mind, right on the 15, as he was taken down by 21 and I believe 46 from the defense.
I believe you're right. So a big play there for the Lions as that puts them 15 yards from the end zone with a tick under 3 minutes left. Sanders takes the snap, fakes the handoff, but the play is blown dead here.
Looks like our coach right there for the Lions was calling a timeout, and the refs were a few seconds late to give it to him there.
So we're going to take a break with them, and we'll be back after this word from GEUS. And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium as the Lions are looking at a 1st and 10 situation here from the Jaguars 15-yard line. As we have a referee tying his shoe, and then it looks like we'll be getting started. So Sanders takes the snap standing on his 19-yard line, rolls to his left. He's got his man, but it looked like his arm may have been bumped by 44 or something. Came up a little short regardless.
Yeah, that's a rough thing to do as a right-handed quarterback, rolling out to your left, throwing across your body. However, it seemed like he had the right angle, just threw it a little low. But like you said, that he had pressure from 44 there, which is De Los Santos. So he is back in the game after not being in for quite a while from that injury earlier, it seems.
Yeah, so we're looking at a 2nd and 10 here for the Lions. Ball on their own 15-yard line. Sanders takes the snap, rolls to his right. He goes up the middle, picks up maybe a yard before being taken down. See where they spot the ball. as it looks like they're going to give him maybe a couple inches on the play.
Yeah, and it looks like he was taken down again by Luke McCain. So 3rd down and long here from the Lions. Maybe we'll see a pass. We've got 88 in, as well as Aiden Lewis, number 1, in at receiver, 1 to each side.
Yeah, and they've also got number 2, Caleb Hale, in the backfield a little bit. So that's a little bit of a different thing for the Lions. And we've seen it once maybe, so they may try something sneaky there. Hands it off to Abram. Abram gets to about the 15-yard line. Well, they're going to call it the 14, as that's going to bring up 4th and 9 here. And typically you look for a pass there, but I don't hate that call, as Tobias Abram has been really good at blowing holes and picking up lots of yardage there. But we are going to be looking at a field goal attempt here for GEUS. Archer, what's the distance on that kick?
It's looking like 31 for Justice. This is something we don't see quite often from the Lions, but after the miscue last time, we hope it can all be cleaned up and hit this 31-yard field goal before the second half.
I couldn't agree more. It's up. And it's good for GEUS at 31 yards. And Just's parents are actually in the booth, a few booths over from us, so they are definitely excited for that play. I believe it's Just's father that does the in-house announcing, and his mom, a counselor at Greenville, is also up here. So big play there for Just and the Just family.
Very exciting for the kicker, as I believe that's one of his first field goals on varsity, as he's been up there since a sophomore. So happy to see him connect on that field goal and bring the Lions a few more points before the second half.
Yeah, so it brings the score to Jaguars 34, Lions 9, with 1:10 left to go here in the first half. As the Lions will be giving the ball back to the Jaguars, and the Jaguars received to start the game, I believe. So the Lions will get the ball in the second half, which is silver lining in this whole deal.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see the Jaguars maybe come out and just take a few knees and send us to halftime, as we hope not to see another big play like a few games ago where we let up one right before halftime.
Yeah, and letting up a touchdown right as time's winding down in the first half, that's a real backbreaker to a team. So Just has got the ball ready on his kicking tee.
And it looks like he's going to go deep again today.
And the ball falls off the tee, so Just has got to reset it and then remark his steps. And he's probably feeling pretty confident after that 31-yard field goal, and I can't blame him. I would too.
Yeah, I'm expecting this ball to go past the 10.
Just talking to his team. Gets ready. And it's a good kick there, as the ball's going to bounce and be stopped at the 10. And big tackle for the Lions, as that was number 3, Freeman Robinson, getting all the way up to about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, and it looked like he was taken down by a few Lions. It looked like number 4, number 8, and number 7. That's Dumas, Goggins, and Trexel out there all making a big play.
Yeah, and that's cool, too, to see Goggins back in the game, because we hadn't seen him in a little while. And if the Lions have to punt again, maybe he'll be able to do the punting. And I'm sure he will, because he's on the team playing defense right now. So
yeah, I didn't even think about how he had gotten injured earlier, so it's good to see him back.
So we see Rutenbar in the backfield taking a snap. He's got 3 receivers to the right. He's looking. He finds a man downfield, as that's going to be hauled in at the 49-yard line or so. He's going to get all the way about to the 42, 43 before being pushed out of bounds. Looks like there is an injured line on the field. I think that may be number 11, Noah Davenport.
Yeah, Davenport actually was the one that hit him out, and he took his helmet off. It seems to be like he's struggling with something, maybe head injury.
Yeah, head, kicking his feet, something. He's not feeling too good at all, as we saw him throw his helmet off and give it to Ethan Brand real quick there. So hopefully he'll be okay. We'll be back after this word from GEUS and give you any updates we've got.
Serving the people of Greenville is what we do. At GEUS, community involvement, volunteering, giving back through sponsorships, and providing hometown service with world-class reliability are just a few of our priorities. Being a locally owned public power utility means we are your family, friends, and neighbors. Community involvement and giving is easy when you are serving your hometown. Nationally recognized reliability and service, owned by those we serve for over 130 years.
And so we see number 11, Noah Davenport, walk off the field underneath his own power, pointing at his head a little bit, so he's probably feeling a little something up there, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. As we've got 55 seconds left on the clock here. Lions on defense, of course. Rutenbar's got 3 receivers out left and Davis in the backfield. He drops back. He's looking for his man. He's got his man, but he's quickly broken up by number 1, Aiden Lewis, so that's going to be no catch there, and that's good because it would have been a first down, I believe.
It would have been pretty close, but Aiden Lewis, obviously he's playing receiver and DB, so he's ready to catch at all times tonight. So he got in the way and almost had it himself.
Yeah, so we see number 12, Ethan Brand, trot off the field, and number 23, Jaden Johnson, come in his place. Bring up 2nd and 10 from the Lions' 43-yard line for the Jaguars here. Same formation out there for the Jaguars. Rutenbar and Davis in the backfield. Rutenbar drops back, looking for his guy. He decides to run with it, as he's going to have no problem picking up the first down, and a lot more there, as the Lions are going to be able to stop him, it looks like, at about the 2 or 3 yard line there, so a huge pickup.
Yeah, and that was 7 and 18. That's Goggins and Jamorian Hamilton, which Hamilton looks a little shaken up. Looks like he might have hit his knee on the quarterback and or the ground, so hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, and it looks like there is a timeout on the field. Not sure by which team, but definitely a timeout. And they're going to talk things over here and figure what their plan is. I believe it was the Midlothian Heritage Jaguars that called it. So going to hammer things out, figure out what they want their play call to be for this this goal line attempt here.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can stop them before the second half begins with only 36 seconds left. Only need a few plays to stop them. However, if Midlothian Heritage, if they're going for this, they might keep using their timeouts in order to get it.
Yeah, we'll see, as they do have 36 seconds on the clock, but they also have 2 timeouts to work with, so time is in their favor for sure, as they only have 3 yards to go. I imagine we may see a handoff here to Zako Davis. What about you, Archer?
I don't know. I'm leaning more towards a pass to the right.
Could be. They do have 2 guys up there and not a whole lot of coverage other than Goggins and Renner. So fakes the handoff to Davis, and he runs to his left and is able to bowl over a couple defenders and get in for a Jaguars touchdown.
Indeed he was. So we'll see the special teams unit trot out onto the field.
Yeah, as that pushes the score, Jaguars 40, Lions 9, with 30 seconds left in the half. Snaps up a little high, but it's blocked, and that's picked up by Hamilton, I believe, as Hamilton is going to run and maybe go the distance here, as he's got a little ways to go, but he is going to get into the end zone there, it looks like.
Man, was that close, and I can only bet he's as tired as can be after that one.
Yeah, he's definitely gassed, no doubt. And there's a big pickup there for the Lions. And I believe that's 2 points there. So that's going to bring the score Jaguars 40, Lions 11. So what could have been a tack on of another point for the Jaguars turned into 2 for the Lions. So it's kind of like a loss of 3 for the Jaguars.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to be a momentum shift, and maybe we'll see another play from the Lions with the last 31 seconds to go to maybe tack on another 7 or 8.
Yeah, I kind of imagine they're going to kneel it out, but it'd be pretty cool to see him go out there and take a shot, seeing how they do have 30 seconds left. But who knows, and if nothing else, hopefully they'll use it as a momentum shifter for the second half, and I believe they will be receiving the ball.
What I don't want to see is a short kick that goes wrong for the Lions here, as we've seen them kick it short a few times. However, seems like he's the lone kicker out there, so likely to see another deep one tonight.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, as they're not running any trickery out there with number 80, just Cantu out there. So we see number 20, Tobias Abram, as well as number 2, Caleb Hale, back deep for the Lions, as they are setting up all the way back at their own 2-yard line and own 4-yard line, as Cantu has shown he can too kick it really far.
Yeah. You're right, Bentley. You're very right. As I can only expect this one to go as deep as he can, hopefully in the end zone in his sake.
So the kick is up, and it's going to be short here, as it's going to bounce at the 21 and roll all the way back to about the 10, as that's going to be picked up by Tobias Abram, and he's going to get out to about the 18-yard line or so. Looks like they're going to call it the 19. So
Yeah.
bring up 1st and 10 for the Lions at the 19-yard line.
Seemed like his attempt at a squib kick, which was, I'd say 50% successful, 50% unsuccessful.
Yeah. Well, on the bright side for him, he didn't get it all the way to the end zone, and so it didn't bring him out to the 25-yard line, as we've seen him do very, very many times, several times so far. A little bit of a different look for the Lions, as it looks like they've got number 23, Jaden Johnson, in at running back here. We've seen Johnson some this season, but I don't know that we've seen him so far tonight. As Sanders puts him in motion, takes the snap. It's a little rough, and he's thrown down back at his own 7-yard line, it looks like, for a loss of about 12, but it looks like they did blow the play dead at about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, that was Dimerick Isaac, who seemed to be the speedy guy on their defense, getting around the line and getting through the line very fast tonight.
Yeah, and the Lions are going to go ahead and just let that clock run out, as that's going to bring the score Jaguars 40, Lions 11 going into halftime. And I believe we're going to take a break here and then be back with maybe some stats from David Claiborne.
Introducing GEUS Smart Pay, a prepaid electric service. The smart way to manage your energy bills. With GEUS Smart Pay, you're in control. No monthly bills, no late fees, no disconnect or reconnect fees, and lower or no deposits. GEUS Smart Pay. Smart, simple, and electricity on your schedule. Sign up today at 903-457-2800.
Ever wondered why your GEUS bill seems to fluctuate unpredictably?
Why are these bills so high? Are they really reading these meters, or are we just guessing?
Well, here's the deal. Texas weather swings like a pendulum, impacting your energy costs. Ever wondered why your GEUS bill seems to fluctuate unpredictably?
Why are these bills so high? Are they really reading these meters, or are we just guessing?
Well, here's the deal. Texas weather swings like a pendulum, impacting your energy costs. That thermostat works overtime, but tweaking it just 4 degrees can make a real dent in your bill. And going further by 4 degrees when you're out, even more savings. GEUS reads those meters every month. Your trust matters. GEUS, your community-owned utility provider.
I own an electric company.
I own a power plant.
I own an internet provider.
Because I'm the owner, real people answer my calls.
Since I'm the owner, I can walk right in and talk to people face to face.
As an owner, a technician comes to my house to make sure my internet problem is fixed right.
At GEUS, we treat you like you own the place because you do. GEUS, true local ownership.
Conserving energy is important to us here at GEUS. We even pay rebates when you buy energy-efficient appliances. Your conservation helps all GEUS customers. In the future, we will need to build new electric generators, and this can be expensive. And with our population growing, we will need that power. That's why we give rebates for Energy Star appliances. So think about replacing your bulbs with super efficient LED bulbs or adding insulation to your attic. Together, we can help all GEUS customers by doing our part. Check out our rebates online, and remember, GEUS is always ready to serve and assist you in any way we can.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TA Cotton Ford Stadium as I am joined here at halftime with Mr. David Claiborne. Mr. Claiborne, I understand you've been keeping some stats here, and what do you have for us to start this game?
First off, I want to say this game looks like a team that was ranked number 11 in state and picked to win the district against a team that was picked to finish back in the back of the pack, and it's kind of playing out. Midlothian Heritage looks like a pretty good football team.
Yeah.
I don't see how they're 0-3, but
I was going to say, I think you're definitely right, and I think that 0-3, they're definitely a lot better than that 0-3 record shows.
The stat sheet, they got 165 yards rushing, 170 passing. That's really balanced. 335 total. They took in, they had the ball 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, scored on all 6. Impressive. And most of the drives were fast. They didn't waste any time. Lions, I got them 126 yards rushing, 35 passing, 151 total offense. Let's see, Bryson Sanders, I got him 47 yards on 11 carries. Daniel Renner, 45 on 5. He had a good long run. Bryson had a couple good runs. And the guy that I like coming off the bench, Tobias Abram, he had 23 yards and just 3 carries. I hope we get to see more of him in the second half. As far as passing-wise, I got Bryson 3 of 5 for 30 yards. And then Ethan Brand came in for a series, and he completed 1 pass for 5 yards. Of course, the touchdown pass went to Greg Washington. It's different to see him catching the ball this season. Last year, he was one of the top rushers. So it's been a different look to the team this year. I've just been impressed with Heritage. Quarterback, let's see, Rutenbauer, Carter.
Yes,
He's 11 of 22 passing, or 11 of 12. He had 1 incompletion. He started off 11 in the completion in a row. He got 170 yards passing, but he also has 76 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. And then that, what's his name, Davis?
Zako Davis,
87 yards, just 6 carries. The receptions, they've spread it out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different receivers. So, yeah, it's been an impressive show for the Jaguars, and I would say right now they look like a district favorite to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And talking about how many guys they've been getting involved, been looking on my roster trying to find all these guys' names, and there's been a bunch for sure. So Lions have been doing a pretty good job, it seems like, of making them run the ball or something, not pass it as much as Archer figured out they were averaging, I believe, about 32 passes a game, and they're only at, would you say, 12 so far in the first half?
13 because you had that halfback pass, a reverse pass.
That's right.
Yeah, 13 passes, but they've been running the ball well, and Lions gonna. That's something that I've talked about with Coach Collins earlier in the season about tackling. They still got to work on their tackling.
Yeah, I need to wrap them up. Definitely, I've noticed that too. There's been a lot of times that they've been able to break the first defender, second defender, and then pick up more yardage.
There's still things the Lions need to work on to be more competitive. Got to work on the kicking game. They had another short punt. You saw that. Those short punts they've had the last two games. One that went 22 yards, one that went 5 yards, and one that went 3 yards. And they got to do better than that.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely quite a bit for the Lions to work on, but a few good things too is
that Jamarian Hamilton return on the, I saw a young man do that for Corsicana one time against the Lions. He picked up a block extra point, went 90 yards. His name was Danielle Manning. He ended up playing in the NFL.
Really?
When you do something like that, you might get noticed.
You might, because that's not something you see very often.
Yeah, how often do we see that?
I don't
we
know
don't
that I've
see
ever
that.
seen it.
And that should give you a little bit of spark going into halftime. But Midlothian bounced right back and scored. The Lions need to get a couple stops if they want to get back in this game and try to hit some big plays because they need to score in a hurry.
Yeah, I agree, and that's something we seem to have noticed earlier in the season. Lions defense has been pretty good, except for a few misses here and there, but overall pretty good defense, but they definitely have to play a lot better in the second half than they have so far.
But the Lions, you don't see too many busted plays where guys wide open. They're in the right place. They just got to work on their tackling.
I agree 100%. Well, Mr. Claiborne, do you have any more stats or anything else for me?
Yeah, I'm just looking at penalties. Greenville 3 penalties for 40 yards. That's something that I've been proud of the Lions. They don't get many penalties, and they're staying under control. I think we had a young man get a little excited on a touchdown play.
Yeah, and I believe that was Greg Washington, of course, and I believe that may have been his first receiving touchdown, at least on the season.
He was
maybe
excited.
First touchdown.
Sometimes I think kid gets excited. Let him enjoy the game, but I know the refs want to keep decorum out there or whatever they call it.
Yeah, and I mean I can completely understand both sides where the refs are coming from, but also definitely where Washington's coming
the Silver
from.
Springs game, the team that was making more of the mistakes like that was the Wildcats.
Mm-hmm.
Greenville stayed pretty composed that game, and that's something that they're doing a pretty good job of keeping these kids composed.
Yeah, I agree. Lions have not had very many penalties overall that are things that are avoidable. I mean, obviously you could always say, well, every penalty is avoidable, but sometimes they just happen, and Lions have been very, very controlled, I would say, so
I think,
far.
Coaches don't mind hustle penalties because you get those in every sport. It's mouthing off or cheap shot. I don't see the Lions doing that. And
No.
So and if you get a little excited celebrating a touchdown, that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, they watch TV and they see all these guys on TV doing it.
Right, and they let them on TV get away with a lot.
Of course they do.
But yeah, so overall, definitely the Lions have had several good things so far for them this half, but they also have a lot to work on, it sounds like.
And if you're starting off with a district favorite, it's going to get easier. And next week they got Poteet.
Yeah,
Poteet went winless last year.
Yeah.
And one of the teams the Lions played, what was it? Joshua beat Poteet pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Poteet's not supposed to. They were actually picked to finish 8th in the district. Greenville was picked to finish 7th. So this is a game the Lions can win. They just got to get healthy too, because there's some players out there that are bunged up and not playing. And then the Lions had 1 or 2 come off the field. They just got to get healthy, and they won't have a long turnaround because that game's going to be a Thursday game.
Right.
But that's a game that they should be aiming at trying to win. I'd say the second half, just stay composed, don't make any mistakes, and don't get anybody hurt, and get out of here and focus on next week.
I agree. I couldn't agree more because, like you said, when you come into a favorite, it's a tough game, and so yeah, definitely focus on Poteet for next week because it's definitely a very winnable game.
I mean, this team hit Heritage last year. They went 12-1, and I was expecting them to be 3-0, and if you didn't know any better, you'd think they were 3-0 the way they played tonight.
Yeah, they've played some lights out football without a doubt. So definitely a tough matchup this week for the Lions, but next week should be much easier as we will be traveling to Mesquite and taking on Poteet. I believe it's at Mesquite Memorial Stadium. So.
Lions have played there before, and they played at Hanby Stadium. So, these teams like Poteet, they're not strangers. They've never played Midlothian Heritage, but they played Corsicana, they played Ennis, they played Terrell, they played Crandall. They're familiar with these programs.
Yeah, they're definitely going into some very well-known territory next week, I would say, in Mesquite. So definitely a winnable game for the Lions and definitely something good to look for. Well, Mr. Claiborne, I really appreciate you coming over and talking some stats with us, as it looks like we're fixing to have our Lion Pride Band and Flashes join the field. So, Mr. Claiborne, I appreciate it. You have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week.
Greenville became the first municipally owned public power electric utility in Texas in 1891, when privately owned companies were only interested in serving. Because public power utilities are owned by their communities and are not motivated by profits, rates are typically lower than investor-owned utilities and reliability is higher.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greenville High School proud to present the oldest drum team in the world, the Flaming Flashes. The first sponsors are led up to the field by our 2024-2025 dance officers from left to right. They are Major Abigail Salas, Major Adriana Rios, Lieutenant Colonel T.J. Mathis, Colonel Julian Sherrill, Lieutenant Colonel Risa Gutierrez, Major Skylar Castaneda, and Major Sophia Duran. Social officers for the Flaming Flashes are Chelsea Ariola Calderon, Veronica Ibarra, Brianna Jimenez, Allison Nicholas, and lead Miranda Nahara. Flashes of the week are Veronica Ibarra and Brooklyn Sampson.
Out through the section and send one person down. I'm not thinking too quick. Send one person to the section.
From a strong military to painted black. The Flashes would like to dedicate this performance to the Raymond family. Ladies and gentlemen, the Flaming Flashes. The Flashes are under direction of Anna Strickland and Latisha Baird. Now performing the Greenville High School's award-winning Lion Pride Band. The Lion Pride Band is in its 94th year and is under the direction of Head Director Dr. Matt Obi, Assistant Director Luke Daly, and Percussion Director John Grant. Colored by instruction by A.J. Pont and drill design by Stephen Cross. Drum majors are Ayanara Escobar, Angelico Caledia, and Mariana Ochoa. The Lion Pride Band is proudly sponsored by Alliance Bank, Wildcat Valley, Fuller's Nursery, Greenville Masonite, and loving memory of Carla Carniver, McDonald's, the Rapper Clinic, Select Sod and Stone Supply, Sunshine Window Tent, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, the Texas Theater, UAW, Local 967, Real Texas, VFS Signature Landscape. Our section of the week is The Flute. Please enjoy this year's Lion Pride marching production, Full Throttle.
Sit down, the high school dance performance is ready.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium, as it is about 86 degrees, and we are getting ready for the second half as here come the Lions out of their inflatable, as we still see Heritage loosening up a little bit in the end zone. Archer, you got any scores for us so far?
I do indeed. So it seems as if we've got live scores for each team now. So the Kaufman team is winning 28-21 over the Ennis Lions. Crandall is beating Poteet 31-7 currently. And Corsicana and Terrell are playing as Terrell leads Corsicana 14-6.
There we go. So some good scores across the district, and that Kaufman-Ennis game is definitely close and definitely a big game to watch, as both those teams should be pretty good this season.
Yeah, I'd expect them to both be as good as they always have been. You know, Ennis has beat us up a few times in the past, so hopefully we'll get some revenge this time around.
Yeah, hoping so. So the Lions will be receiving the second half kickoff here, I believe. And we will see that here in just a second as both teams are talking things over a little bit and then going to get ready to go out there on the field and get this second half of football started. Archer, what are you hoping to see the Lions do better this half?
I'm hoping they come out hot. I'm hoping they're coming out ready to throw the ball deep and get some points back on this board. As we've seen, Heritage has no time to stop. They're going, and they're trying to stack up these points in the first game of this district season. So I hope to see the same from the Lions.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Heritage has definitely been going and blowing so far to start the game. So hoping to see the Lions do something similar. As the Lions are going to have, if they want to have a chance of getting back into this game, they're going to have to score early, and they're going to have to score often.
They are indeed. You're right. As it looks like we've got both teams trotting out onto the field finally, as number 2 and 20 are still back at the back. Number 2, Caleb Hale, and 20 is Tobias Abram, as we expect one of them to likely get this ball and get us going tonight.
Yeah, who knows? We may see Cantu do something a little different here, but we know he can definitely kick the ball way back there. So that's probably what he'll do. So we'll see what happens here, as he's going to be kicking, of course, from his own 40. He's going to be going from my right to my left. It'll be south to north. So here comes Cantu with the kick. Kick is up, and it is going to go back into the end zone. So that'll come out to the 25-yard line, as the Lions are going to get some pretty good field position here to start the second half. And we'll see what they throw out there to start us off here.
Yeah, it almost seemed like Caleb Hale wanted that one and wanted it, but he figured it was best to let it go deep and get 25.
I agree with him, because he would have caught that probably about 5 to 6 yards at least back in his own end zone. So to make it worth it, he would have had to go about 31 yards to get anything of it. So a little bit of a different look here for the Lions is number 33, Cody Waldrop, is in at the slot, a linebacker, defensive lineman for the Lions. So see what they got cooking here, as we see Bryson Sanders in to take the snap. Takes the snap, he rolls to his right, he pitches it to his trail man. That's number 0, Daniel Renner. And Renner is wrapped up there by the Jaguars defender.
Yeah, met first by number 10. That's Chris Robinson, the senior. And I believe they brought Cody out there as kind of a lead block guy because, he's got the strong hands from the defensive line. Expecting to make a big block for him there and probably continue that.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. So they're bringing up 2nd and 13 here for the Lions. And I think the Jaguars may have kind of seen that coming, as we've seen Waldrop play a snap or two on offenses. Just typically they don't line him up in the slot. So Sanders takes the snap, hands it off to Renner. Renner gets around the edge. He's got a lot of room, and he gets all the way up to about the 40 before getting pushed out of bounds, as that'll pick up a Lions first down.
Yeah, and as previously mentioned, that was Cody Waldrop on the edge right there, blocking for Renner to get around that and take off for, I'm not sure, but it looked like about 15 yards there.
Yeah, right around there. They're going to spot the ball at the Greenville 38-yard line, so a good pickup there for the Lions. So you're going to be looking at 1st and 10 here. Waldrop stays in the game. And we saw him do something similar to this last season with Khalil. So Sanders takes the snap, hands it off to Renner. Renner goes around the right. He's got one man to beat, and that man's able to take him down after a pickup of about 3.
Yeah, it looks like they're going heavy to start this drive out. A lot of rush forward game and trying to maybe break down the defense and then throw a long ball over their heads. So maybe we'll see something from number 1, Aiden Lewis, out there.
Yeah, definitely it looks like they're looking to tire him out so maybe they can beat him long. So, and they're consistently running to the right side and making those linebackers and cornerbacks there make the play. So maybe they'll put somebody on the right and see what they can do. See Greg Washington in motion here as Sanders takes the snap, hands it off to Renner again. Renner goes up the middle, picks up, looks like no yardage on the play.
Yeah, and it looks like he was taken down by a few, but it looks like one of the big guys, number 62, I believe he was one of the captains tonight, Jaterion Robinson, made the first stop initially as he runs off the field for a breather.
I think you may be right on that. As we see Renner leave the field too. Looking like he's maybe a little shaken up. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. because I believe that's number 20, Tobias Abram, in at running back in place of him. And we've seen Abram play some pretty good running back so far this season. As Sanders is about to take the snap after putting Washington in motion. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Abram, rolls to his left, and he's taken down, and that's a fumble as it's right at the out-of-bounds line. It looks like it was picked up by number 25, Greg Washington. So good heads-up play there by Washington to help his quarterback there after the strip sack.
Yeah, as we saw a few drives ago, it's a hard play to make as a right-handed quarterback, flipping your hips and making that throw. And it looked like right as he was flipping his hips, the defender came in and smacked it out of his hand as it forces the punt team to come on the field with Reagan Goggins back into punt tonight.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely not the best position for Sanders to be, but position nonetheless, and unfortunately didn't go the Lions' way. So Goggins is ready for the punt in here as it's 4th and 13 for the Lions. He gets the ball, puts up a pretty good punt there as it's going to go out to take a Lions bounce and be touched at, it looks like, the 32. He might could have let it bounce a time or two more before doing anything there, but didn't want to risk it bouncing back on him, I suppose.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen in the past few years from the Lions as a rugby-style punt. You know, it's something that you don't quite see as often, but it's very beneficial when it works out the way it did just now.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, I believe that may have been number 14, Adrian Hawkins, who downed the ball there for the Lions. Not 100% sure, but I think it was. So we see number 9, Carter Rutenbar, lead his offense out here to start the second half as he's got a receiver split right, receiver split left, Zako Davis in the backfield, and an H-back out there, of course. Rutenbar takes the snap, hands it off to fakes the handoff to Davis, and he's got his man open downfield, but he bounces around in his hands a few times and finally loses it about the 32-yard line there.
Yep, it was bit bobbled and dropped by number 11 there, but it kind of seemed like number 4 followed him and landed on him, and it may have drawn a penalty. I don't necessarily know where the penalty came from or what it was for, but we'll have to find out here soon.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure that I agree with that call if it was a penalty, but I understand they gotta uphold certain things in the game, I suppose. Yeah, and to me that looked like a play of he wanted to make sure if he had the ball he was down, but you know, I guess that's how the refs are going to call it, and it'll be what it'll be.
Maybe there was some missed handsy stuff that we didn't quite catch, but nonetheless, a big penalty and a bad pickup for the Lions.
Yeah, so it'll bring up 1st and 10 here for the Jaguars from the 50-yard line. Rutenbar's back with Davis to his right. 3 receivers out right, 1 out left. Rutenbar's looking for his man. He tosses it to Davis. Davis is attempted to be tripped up by a Lion, but is able to get all the way out of bounds at about the 27-yard line, and there is a flag on the play.
Yes, and I believe that's going to be a holding on number 3, Freeman Robinson, the senior receiver. Looked a little excessive, kind of threw the defender out on the sideline and gave a big lead block, but probably not a legal one.
Yeah, you know, we'll definitely take that for the Lions here. Would have been a horrible break, but not so bad as it takes that pickup from about 23 yards to about 3 yards.
Yeah, I believe it's a spot foul, so probably 10 yards from where the spot was, and like you said, I'll take that one.
I agree. So to bring up 1st and 7 here, they're going to call it 1st and 8 for the Jaguars. They changed it to 1st and 7. Man in motion, that's number 17. Rutenbar takes the snap, hands it off to number 10. 10's dancing, got some room, picks up the 1st down, and is able to break several tackles as he's finally taken down at the 20-yard line, and that was Grant Roberts for the Jaguars.
Yeah, and he was finally taken down by Tyler Trexel there. Probably a touchdown-saving play right there by Trexel, so hopefully we'll see a few more touchdown-saving plays here and keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't agree more, and looking at somebody like Tyler Trexel, he was a huge part of their defense last year and been a big part so far this season. Was hurt for the first game or so, but he's come back strong. Man in motion, that's number 3, Freeman Robinson. Rutenbar takes the snap, fakes the handoff, finds his man at the 11-yard line and is quickly taken down.
Taken down by Goggins right there, the cornerback, who, as I've mentioned earlier, is filling in as a part-time role for number 3, Jaden Gibson, who went out a few games ago injured with a knee injury and seems to be lingering still tonight.
Yeah, and that was number 11, Ryan Satterwhite, on the catch for the Jaguars. 2 receivers split left for the Jaguars, 1 out right. H-back lined up on the field. Rutenbar puts a man in motion, takes the snap, hands it to number 10, and he's quickly met in the backfield for a big tackle for a loss there by the Lions.
Yes, he was, and that looks like number 70, I believe, Legarian Savage. So big play by the guy that we haven't really seen tonight, so maybe he'll make a few more of those and earn himself a spot throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, and Savage is a guy that he some games he gets in a ton, some games he doesn't get in a bunch, but when he does, he seems to always make a difference for the Lions. So 3 receivers out left, 1 out right. Puts number 3, Freeman Robinson, in motion. Rutenbar takes a snap, a little bit of a high snap, but he's able to handle it. Pitches it to his running back, number 10, and he bowls over the Lions defender there for a Jaguars touchdown. That looked like maybe number 8, Tyler Trexel, on the play for the Lions. That brings the score, Jaguars 46, Lions 11, as we await the extra point here.
That's 200 pounds coming at you fast, so, you know, I'd be hurting too as they go on to kick the extra point.
Yeah, and Cantu's kick is up. And unlike the last one, it is good. So that brings the score, Jaguars 47, Lions 11, and the Lions have got to get something cooking here quick, as there's 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and they are down by a decent amount here. Those boys are still going strong with the celebration flags for Heritage.
Well, they did have a 10-minute break, 20-minute break at halftime, so, you know, they're probably a little better spirited now than they were earlier after running quite a bit.
I definitely agree.
We do have an injury update on our kicker, Josh Rojas. He seemed to have picked up an injury in his soccer practice on the weekend with his club team. So sadly, it affects him tonight as he's not able to compete in this game. But hopefully he'll be back by the time next week rolls around.
Yeah, and the good news, too, is it sounds like it's not a super serious injury, maybe more of a precautionary thing, but definitely look forward to having him next week, hopefully, against Poteet. Well, he may not be back, but fingers crossed he'll be fine and be able to be back next week.
Definitely so, and it looks like we've got our backup kicker and our kicker for the Heritage Jaguars out here right now, so we may see some more trickery.
And that is a big kick there by number 85. That is Wyatt Dunn, the backup kicker and a wide receiver. He's a senior, 6 foot, 170 pounds, and he kicked it almost all the way out the back of the end zone.
I mean, for a backup kicker, I'd love to see him as a starting kicker somewhere too.
You know, I don't know that he's a backup kicker because he's bad. I think he's a backup kicker because Cantu is good.
I think you're right there. And it looks like our offense is going to come back on the field with number 10, Sanders, leading them back out for another offensive drive.
And Sanders will be joined in the backfield by number 20, Tobias Abrams. So that shows that Renner may be feeling a little bit banged up, but they could be just letting him rest and play defense. Who knows? So we see him put number 2, Caleb Hale, in motion. Takes the snap, hands it off to Abram. Abram gets up to about the 26-yard line or so for a pickup of about 1. They're going to give it to him at the 27 for a pickup of 2.
Yeah, and it looked like the main man that made that tackle was number 7, once again, Dimerick Isaac, the junior defensive lineman, at 6'4", 215. So a big guy out on the edge there to really contain the Lions as he's done so far tonight.
Yeah, and even standing at 6'4", weighing in at 215, he can definitely move really well to be that big. So we see Sanders in the backfield. He's got 3 guys back there with him, puts Washington in motion. Washington moves to the right side. He runs to the right, flips it to Abram. Abram's trying to get around the edge, but is taken out by a missile of a player there.
Missile indeed. That's 21, Jaden Moore, as he's probably made his 15th tackle tonight.
Been a huge tackle there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 15, it looks like, for the Lions here, which is not exactly ideal. But we've seen them make some big conversions this season, so we'll see what they've got going right here. 3 receivers to the right, nobody to the left as he puts Abram in motion. Sanders drops the snap and ends up diving on it, as that was the best course of action there, unfortunately. And tackle is made, which will bring him back to the 13-yard line and bring up 4th and 15 for the Lions, as we will see Reagan Goggins and his punting unit come out on the field.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to see on 3rd and very long, as now looks like Goggins is going to be standing on his own end zone, punting this ball out as deep and as far as he can tonight. So hopefully, as well as it looks like we're going to be pushed back even further for 12 men in the huddle. So not a very good offensive drive as of right now.
Yeah, and that's definitely unfortunate, as 4th and long gets to be 4th and even longer. Bring up 4th and, let's see what they're going to mark it at. 4th and about 27 here for the Lions, as Goggins will be standing about midway up the I in Lions. Gets the snap, puts up a pretty good punt on it, as it's kneeled down at the Lions' 38-yard line. There is a flag on the play back there where he was kicking.
Looked like probably a running into the kicker this time, because as we saw last time, it was definitely a roughing the kicker when he got completely plowed last time. However, this one, it kind of looked like an unfriendly bump, rather. So
yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely some extracurricular back there. Looks like there may have been another penalty back on the Lions too, as it looked like they were going to call that a canceling out or something there.
I believe the Lions went ahead and just declined the penalty right there, as they feel that the punt was far enough and they don't want to do it again.
I completely understand that. So bring up 1st and 10 here for the Jaguars from the Lions' 39-yard line.
Bentley, I would like to tell you that it looks like number 12 is in at quarterback. That's Bradley Waxler, the holder that we've seen, which seems to be the backup quarterback. So
I believe you're right, and I can say I definitely understand that reasoning, as Waxler puts number 3, Freeman Robinson, in motion. Waxler hands it off to his running back. Running back gets around the edge. I'll get that name for you here in just a second, as that was number 29, it looked like. Malik Crutcher, senior running back, 5'7", 180 pounds. There's an injured line on the field, it looks like. And we'll see as they're taking an injury timeout. Hopefully nothing too serious. And we're going to take timeout with them, and we'll be back after this word from GEUS.
For more than a year now, the GEUS Roundup program has helped neighbors in need by you giving just a little. We still need your help to help those who need it, and there are 3 ways you can choose to participate. 1. Commit to rounding up your bill to the nearest dollar and donating 1 cent to 99 cents per month. 2. Choose a recurring set amount contribution. 3. Choose a one-time set amount contribution. The GEUS Roundup program is easy to participate in and has the ability to make a huge impact on someone else in our community. Your ability to help is the only thing that matters.
And welcome back here to T.A. Cotton Ford Stadium. As I have a name for you, don't have what the injury was or anything like that, but that was number 12, Ethan Brand, who went off the field and looked to be holding maybe his upper leg, as hopefully it's not a serious injury, but we'll see, as Brand plays linebacker and also plays a little H-back, and today has been their backup quarterback with the injury to Rodriguez.
Yeah, it looked like a slight holding of his left arm, kind of, so hopefully nothing serious as the offense goes. And it's a handoff to, I believe, number 29 again, as he breaks through and gets down to the about 8-yard line as he's taken down by number 1, Aiden Lewis.
It's a huge run there by number 29, Malik Crutcher there, and a big pickup as they are standing at their 10-yard line. It's first and goal here, 10 to go. Bradley Waxler fakes the handoff, throws it to his guy in the backfield. That's number 3, Freeman Robinson, as Freeman Robinson gets in for a Midlothian Heritage touchdown.
As he makes one miss and goes straight towards the gold. As it seems like Waxler is still going to stay on the field as he was previously the holder, and he'll continue that duty as Cantu comes on, I believe, and tries to make this 54 here.
Cantu's kick is up, and it's good. That brings the score to Midlothian Heritage Jaguars 54, Greenville Lions 11, with 3.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter, as the Lions are looking a little bit gassed and definitely needing to get something going soon if they're going to have a shot at all of getting back within reason here.
You know, hopefully we can just see, you know, we've already seen Heritage put their backups in, so, you know, maybe we'll just see some good movement, some good plays from the Lions, give them a little bit of confidence going into next week, rather. You know, and hopefully they're not beating themselves up too much right now, as, you know, maybe this one might be out of reach. However, there's still plenty of games left this season to make the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully, like you said, we'll see a little bit of a momentum shift here. Maybe not Lions coming all the way back, but something to get them going a little bit better for next week, as we will be, like we said several times, taking on Poteet and seeing what happens there. So we see Cantu, but also Wyatt Dunn on the field, as it looks like it's going to be Wyatt Dunn that makes the kick. And it's going to be another deep kick, as that's going to go out of the end zone. Very narrowly missing the referee, it looks like. And that'll bring the ball out to the 25 for the Lions, as they'll get started on their own 25-yard line.
It's a strange thing seeing two kickers out there, because as a kicker myself, I never wanted to tackle anybody. So if they're the same as me, that's two guys that don't want to tackle out there. It's leaving you a 9 on 11. So
I completely understand, but I guess it's not that big of a deal if both of them can kick it all the way out of the back of the end zone.
Very true indeed.
So we see Bryson Sanders lead his offense onto the field once again. Two receivers out right, running back behind him, H-back right up behind the line. Sanders takes the snap, fakes the hand. Well, didn't really fake the handoff, but he throws to Lewis, and incomplete, as there's a lot of traffic there.
Yeah, and it looks like he was manned up by number, I believe, 18, it seems. Jonathan Lee, the defensive back. He's a senior. So maybe getting a few reps throughout his senior season this season.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. As we're looking at a 2nd and 10 here for the Lions offense led by Sanders. Puts number 2, Caleb Hale, in motion. Takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. That's number 0, Daniel Renner. Renner gets up to about the 30 for a gain of about 5. So that's a good sign there to see Renner back in the game.
Yeah, and he's taken down by Braden Abila, who pregame we saw catching a lot of passes on offense, but he's mainly been stuck on defense tonight as he makes another play on Renner right there.
Yeah, and that was a pickup of 6, actually, as it'll bring up 3rd and 4 here for the Lions, as they're looking at a need for a gain here. Sanders takes the snap, hands it off to Renner. Renner gets around the edge and gets up good enough for a first down, as it looks like he's going to get out to about the 36, maybe 37-yard line there and pick up a Lions first down. He did lose his helmet on the play, and so they're going to make him take a play off.
Yeah, it seemed like he threw Washington right into where he needed him to be, enough to pick up that first down and move the chains. So, as you said, hopefully we'll see that momentum and keep it going all the way to the end zone and make some plays here tonight.
Yeah, definitely a good pickup for the Lions there. Ball spotted at the 37-yard line here, 1st and 10. Sanders puts a man in motion, runs to his right, scrambling. He goes back to his left, goes up the middle, and gets up to about the 40 before being stopped. So that'll be a pickup of, it looks like 3 here. Bring up 2nd and 7 for the Lions.
Yeah, he was met right by that linebacker duo in the middle who's made plenty of plays on him tonight, as he seems to find his way back to the middle most times on his scrambles there. So linebacker duo making a pretty good game tonight as the offense comes back out for 2nd down.
Yeah, definitely. 2nd and 7 for the Lions. 2 receivers out left. Sanders takes the snap. Hands it off to his running back. That's Abram. Abram gets back to about the line of scrimmage, but nothing more. So that'll bring up 3rd and 7, it looks like here.
Yeah, and that looked like number 62 once again, who's made a few plays in the second half. That's Jatarion Robinson. Big man, he is sitting at, looks like 205, 250. Can't tell which one. They gave us a pretty small roster here.
Yeah, this roster takes up maybe a quarter of the page, if that, so it's a little hard to read, but Archer's been doing a pretty good job so far tonight of keeping up with most of these names. Sanders puts Abram in motion, takes the snap, rolls to his left. He's got his man, and it's caught and then quickly dropped, so that'll be an incomplete pass here and bring up 4th down for the Lions. 4th and 7.
Yeah, and that was Caleb Hale on the drop there, as seems like the Lions will be rushing their punt team back on the field.
Yeah, and I got to say, field position, it definitely makes sense. Game position, it definitely makes sense. So they'll be punting the ball away here with 55 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. As you can see, some frustration on the Lions sideline. Goggins standing at his own 27-yard line, getting ready for the punt. Takes the snap. It's a little high, but he's able to do something with it. Gets the punt off. It's a little bit of a shorter kick than you would have liked, as it goes out of bounds at, it looked about like the 46-yard line.
Yeah, it switched the field all right. It switched it to the other 46, and the Jaguars will have a little bit of room to play with on this drive coming up.
Yeah, and with the penalty for the ball going straight out of bounds, that is going to bring the ball to the Lions' 48-yard line. Two receivers out right, 1 out left. Takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. Gets up to about the 45-yard line there, as that was number 29, Malik Crutcher, on the carry.
Yeah, and it looks like he was taken down by Damian Bankston, number 22 on the Lions. He's a younger guy coming in on this Lions defense. Sorry, he's a junior and definitely been making some plays tonight. As hopefully he'll take over a lead role next year as a senior.
Yeah, and Bankston also a pretty good baseball player for the Lions, as he's been on varsity since his freshman year, and great player, played a little third base, and so look for him out there on the baseball field too. Waxler takes the snap, hands it off to Crutcher. Crutcher gets up to about the 43 as we hear the whistle or the clock sounding that is the end of the 3rd quarter. And we're going to take a break here and be back after this word from GEUS.
GEUS is proud to be the first municipally owned electric utility in Texas, dating all the way back to 1891. And we're proud to be the first city-owned cable and internet provider in Texas, too. But that's the past. What matters today is where we're going. Today's GEUS is providing electricity and high-speed internet to a changing, growing, dynamic community. The future of Greenville and Hunt County matters to us because we live here too. We're your friends and neighbors, the folks you see at the grocery store and at church, who just happen to work for a public power and internet provider. And we're proud of it. We take care of the people who walk in the door because they're not strangers, or shareholders, or customers. They're our owners. GEUS is owned and governed by the citizens we serve. We're overseen by a completely local board, made up of regular citizens who make decisions that benefit our community first and foremost, not necessarily distant investors or Wall Street. And our mission isn't just a feel-good idea about serving our neighbors. We also aim to be world-class at everything we do. That's why we've been nationally recognized for how reliable our electric service is, and it's why we're known for excellent customer service and competitive rates. We believe in being locally run and in being the best. GEUS, hometown service, world-class reliability.
Welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium. While we were gone, we did have a Jaguars first down there. It's going to spot the ball at about the 17-yard line as a big pass there by Waxler. So Waxler's joined, of course, by Crutcher in the backfield. Waxler takes the snap, hands it off to Crutcher. Crutcher goes around left, is able to find a window, bowls over a Lions defender, and gets all the way about to the 4-yard line there for a first down.
It looks like that was number 11 and number 1, Aiden Lewis and Noah Davenport, that kind of grabbed onto him and never let him go. Just had to eventually drag him down when they could.
Yeah, and the good thing about, I'm not going to say the good thing about that play, but the good thing about Davenport making that tackle is we did see him go out of the game earlier with a bit of an injury, but he is back, so that's a good sign there.
Yes, it is, as well as we did see Ethan Brand come out of the tent and ready to play again, so a few bangs, but no major injuries as we've seen so far.
Exactly. So Waxler takes the snap, hands it off to Crutcher. Crutcher goes around left, and he's able to find a hole and get in for a Jaguars touchdown. So we'll see Cantu and his fellow kicking unit come on the field. And, of course, we'll see Waxler stay on and do the holding duties. Snaps up. Waxler holds it. Cantu gets it up, and it's good. That brings the score Jaguars 61, Lions 11. Archer, do you have any scores, updates for us from around the district?
I do indeed. So, as it stands right now, Kaufman actually has just scored a few touchdowns to go up 34-28 on Ennis, as we saw Ennis leading 28-21 earlier. Crandall is beating Poteet, I think still hasn't been updated, but 31-7 as of halftime. And Terrell has extended their lead to 31-6 over Corsicana in the fourth quarter.
It's a big lead there for Terrell. Quite a few big games so far across the district. Ennis and Kaufman remaining pretty close. The others turning out to be a bit of a blowout so far. But looking at 10 minutes and 40 seconds here left in this fourth quarter, as the Lions are getting ready to receive this kickoff. See number 2, Caleb Hale, as well as number 20, Tobias Abram, line up at about their own 2-yard line and get ready for the kick.
What do you say, Bentley? You think it's going to be a deep kick again?
I think it probably will be. As we're looking at number 85, Wyatt Dunn is probably going to do the kick. And he will. And it will be a deep kick. Not going to get out of the end zone, as Abram down the ball at his own 3-yard line. Not quite sure what he was thinking there exactly, but Lions will get the ball at their own 3-yard line here to start their drive of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like he couldn't really make up his mind on what he wanted to do, but obviously you don't want the other team to get it, so he kind of last second grabbed the ball and did what he could, I guess.
Well, and it's kind of hard to tell from up here, but his thought too may have been the ball was going to bounce inbounds, of course, or in the field of play, but it may have been going at a bit of an angle, and he may not have wanted it to go out on the 1-yard line or something. So we don't know what exactly was going through his head, but give him the benefit of the doubt for sure here. As it looks like number 12, Ethan Brand's going to get in this drive at quarterback. He's going to be standing right about on his own in Lions. A little bit in front, a little bit over towards the S. Man in motion, that's Renner. Takes the snap. He rolls to his left, goes for the run, picks up about a yard. or so.
Yeah, and it looked like the defensive line that had pushed the offensive line back a little bit came back, turned around, and made the play on him right there. It looked like number 62 again. That's Jatarion Robinson.
Yeah, so we did see him get up to the 6-yard line, so a pickup of 2 is that'll bring up 2nd and 8 here. Got his play from his sideline and talking some things over with his offensive line. Brand gets the snap, hands it off to his running back, and they went ahead and tackled Brand and Renner both for a loss of, looks like they're going to say they got it back to the line of scrimmage here, so it'll bring up 3rd and 8 here for the Lions.
Yeah, it seemed like they couldn't really tell who wanted it on that handoff right there. It seemed like Brand wanted it as well as Renner, so kind of both go down as one when they tackled them both.
Yeah, and 2 different styles of running there. As Brand's more of a power runner, and Renner's definitely a speed guy, as we see him play secondary too and do pretty good at it most of the time. So Brand standing on his own 1-yard line, getting ready to take the snap, puts a man in motion, puts another man in motion. Washington sets up to the right, fakes the handoff. He's looking downfield. He's got a big throw as he almost was able to connect with Hale, but unfortunately overthrew him a little bit, and that'll bring up 4th and 8 from their own 5-yard line, as we will see the punt unit come on the field.
Yeah, it was well defended by the defensive backs there. It looked like number 4, I believe, and number 13 were both back there in order for Hale not to catch that ball.
Yeah, and Hale had his men beat. It was if the ball had been right on target, he probably would have caught it. But that being Brand's first deep ball probably thrown, definitely in a game this season. A little bit of growing to do there, but it looks like the punt man muffed it, and it's picked up, taken out of his hands by a Greenville defender as he's going to get into the end zone, but it looks like the play is going to be whistled dead. See what that's all about is he took it all the way in for a touchdown there, but I do believe that'll be coming back.
I believe they may have just called the returner down as he fair caught it and maybe called an interference as he kind of took it out of his hands. However, it did look like it bounced out of his hands.
Yeah, it definitely did. So we'll see what the exact call is here, but I think you're probably going to be right there. But heck of a run there by the Lions player.
Maybe it's a case of that you can't advance it once it's been muffed. But it does look like the Jaguars defense is coming out, so it may have just been that you can't advance the ball once it's been muffed.
I think you may be right.
But a big play and big heads-up play by him right there as he took it to the end zone at this point, kind of just for fun, but a good confidence play for him right there.
Yeah, and they are going to go ahead and call the ball Jaguars ball, actually. So they will get the ball on the Lions' 35-yard line. I was pretty confident there that should have been the Lions' ball, but I'm up in the box there on the field, so maybe they saw something I didn't.
I believe the same as you, Bentley, and as you said, they called it for the Jaguars, and we'll see a confused Lions team rush their defense back out on the field here.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration from Coach Collins there as he believes that call should have gone the other way. Talking it over with the refs here, of course. So we'll see the Lions defense try to make a stand here as they're working with a short field.
Yeah, and it looks like number 30 is back in, Cameron Clayton. It looks like he's replacing Aiden Lewis, who's been playing a lot on both sides of the field today, so maybe he's just giving him a breather and probably a late break in this game as he is a key player for this Lions team as a captain.
Yeah, and I believe Chris Whitus, he's not gotten in the game, so he may have gotten, I may not be remembering it exactly, but he may have gotten hurt last week and I may not be playing him this week, and so that would explain why Lewis has been playing so much on both sides of the ball. So with the penalty on the Lions, they're going to move the ball all the way to the Lions' 18-yard line. The only thing I can imagine is that they went ahead and called that as interference on the Lions. Again, not sure that I really agree with that play or that call, but they didn't ask my opinion, so.
I think in order for it to be a fair catch, you have to catch the ball and not let it bounce off you, but we'll give the officials a break on this one.
And so Waxler takes the snap, hands it off to Crutcher. Crutcher gets around the edge and is going to skate in for a Jaguars touchdown. So that'll bring the score Jaguars 67, Lions 11 as we await the extra point kick here. And Cantu's been pretty much on the money, so I imagine he can too make this one again.
I'd have to agree with you. However, we may see another block perhaps by the defense, and
hopefully. And that one's up, and it's good, despite the great effort by Goggins. As he's been getting back there pretty much all night, and I'm not sure if it was him or Trexel or Renner that got back there and blocked that one earlier. I don't remember exactly, but he's definitely been back there tormenting Cantu all night.
yeah, and as a kicker, you hate to see that, and you practice all this time about pushing the edges out and getting them out, but when they come flying by, you get a little nervous, and especially when they're coming at your legs, and they take out your ankles every now and then. It's not fun, especially seeing that constantly throughout the game. So probably something they'll end up cleaning up throughout practice this season.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right, and you definitely know what you're talking about. As you kicked for several years. How many years were you kicker for Greenville on varsity?
3 years since my sophomore year.
That's what I thought. So we're looking at a 68-11 score here as Greenville is going to send Abram and Hale back again on the reception. And we're going to see number 85, Wyatt Dunn, set the ball up, and I think we may see him kick it again, as we've seen him kick it out of the back of the end zone several times this season, or several times today. And Dunn's kick is up, and it's a short kick, as that ball was taken by number 11, Noah Davenport, and quickly taken down there at the 39-yard line, it looked like.
Taken down by number 30, Shamar Rice, who seems to probably be a special teamer specific player tonight.
I think you're probably right. Is that the first or second time you've called his name?
It's the first time I remember, so.
I think so. So Lions are going to start the drive with the ball at their own 39. We see Brand stay in at quarterback, as we may see Sanders again tonight, but I won't be surprised if we don't. Brand takes the snap, hands it to his running back. That's Abram. That's Johnson, Jaden Johnson. And some extracurriculars going on there after the play, but able to avoid a flag on the play for either team.
Yeah, it looked like 77 Levi Davenport for the Lions. Maybe he was just trying to shove some guys off of the pile and get his player out and get him safe, but could cost him in another game.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with, but definitely got to be careful with that, as it's looking at 2nd and 5 for the Lions here. Brand is ready for the snap, as he's joined by Johnson, and Washington's up at H-back. 2 wide receivers out right. And Brand tries to get around the edge, and it's fumbled, and looks like it's going to be picked up by the Jaguars, but he's going to be taken down at the 20.
Yeah, it was scooped up by number 18. Number 18 is Jonathan Lee, a senior defensive back, who made the heads-up play and scooped it up eventually after bobbling it the first time.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rough play from the start there. There was a collision between Jaden Johnson and Ethan Brand behind the line of scrimmage to start it off. So a little bit of a rough play from the get-go, unfortunately. So we're looking at 1st and 10 for the Jaguars from the Lions 20 with a tick under 8 minutes left. Waxler takes the snap, hands it off to Crutcher. Crutcher finds a hole and is stopped right before the 15-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, he was stopped right in his tracks by, looked like, number 30. Cameron Clayton came in with a big hit to slow him down and stop him.
Yeah, big play there by Clayton, and as it makes sense, I imagine we're just going to see them continue to run the ball here. It'd kind of be cool to see if Waxler can throw it, but I also am thankful that they're going to continue to run it.
Yeah, as a backup quarterback, he probably wants to throw it quite a bit, but he kind of knows his role as to hand the ball off more than throw it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He hands it off to, that's a different running back in there, as we'll get that name for you as soon as I can. Number 4, Aaron Cohen's sophomore defensive back and running back, stands at 5'6", approximately 150 pounds. So, pretty small guy.
Yeah, which we've called his name a few times on the defensive side, so I think as they're rotating players in, they're getting a few more reps for him while he can.
Yeah, definitely. So we see Waxler getting ready to take the snap here. 19 seconds left on the play clock. Puts a man in motion. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Cohens. Cohens gets around the edge and is in for a Jaguars touchdown.
Yeah, that was made possible by a big block from the receiver, 85, Wyatt Dunn, the kicker that we've seen kick it deep. He's manhandling the defensive back out there to give his guy a wide gap for a touchdown.
Yeah, and Dunn's listed as a kicker first, but also listed as a wide receiver here on this roster we've got. So definitely not that crazy to see him out there, but also we've really only seen him do much with the kicking so far. So we see Cantu's kick is up, and it's good, making the score a lot to not a lot.
Yep, and that will be 75-11 for the Heritage Jaguars over the Greenville Lions tonight, as there's 6 minutes and 4 seconds remaining, and we're going to take a break and hear a message from our sponsor, GEUS.
All right, welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium. My name is Bentley Love. Alongside me is Archer O'Neill, and at the controls, of course, is Matthew Middleton. Lions sending the same two guys back, of course, Caleb Hale and Tobias Abram, as we get ready to see the kickoff here from the Jaguars. Looks like it's going to be number 85, Wyatt Dunn again. But who knows what they're going to do. We might think we'd see him kick it deep, but he may do a pop-over kick again. Who knows?
Yeah, and we've seen plenty from both of these guys, so we really have no idea what's going to go here.
And he does kick it deep. And Abram decides to take it at his own 2 and run it. He gets out to about the 20 and is taken down.
Looked like him and 44 met pretty hard together, as that was Jamie De Los Santos who made the tackle, as De Los Santos doesn't quite make it off the field before he falls down with an injury. So maybe he was hit a little hard in the chest and lost some air there. So hopefully he's going to be all right, as this is the second time we've seen him go down tonight.
Yeah, so hopefully for De Los Santos and the Jaguars, he'll be okay. But they're going to look it over and see how he's doing and see what we've got here, as we do see Greenville's trainers heading over towards him too, and see what they can get going.
Yeah, and while we wait, it looks like we're going to see Sanders back in at quarterback. So it seems like they're just trying to rotate both of these guys, maybe give them both a break, as well as we're going to take a break with them.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium as we see Bryson Sanders come back into the game. Takes the snap, hands it off, fakes the handoff to his running back, goes to his left, and is taken down. As it looks like the play was probably blown dead, but we'll see here as the ball did pop out.
Yeah, and it looks like Sanders is slow to get up around his teammates as he seems to be shaken up after that one as they're going to take an injury timeout for him.
Yeah, and just a reminder, folks, don't forget, Matthew will also be videoing and live streaming on Tuesday night, Lady Lions volleyball, as well as against Anna this coming Tuesday. So make sure to tune in for that. As well as you said JV football on Wednesday, sorry about that. So make sure to tune into that if you want to see some football, or if you aren't able to make it to the game and you have somebody in it, make sure to tune in there, and would really appreciate your support as well as the teams would too.
Yeah, and speaking of those Lady Lions, they picked up a nice win today over the Sherman Cats over there as they won 3-0 over at home.
What's their record looking like so far on the season?
Overall, they're 18-10, and in district play, it just started as football, so they're only 1-2 thus far, but plenty of season to go now.
Yeah, so not a great look as we see Bryson Sanders have to get helped off the field. But we do see Ethan Brand come in for the drive, and hopefully the Lions are able to get out of this game with any more injuries here. Brand hands the ball off to his running back. That's Jaden Johnson. Jaden Johnson fights for what looks like maybe first down yardage. If not, it's going to be short and not very much at all.
Yeah, and it seems to be getting fairly chippy out there as everybody kind of wants their hands on the ball. As it looked like number 18, who made the tackle, ripped the ball right out of Jaden Johnson's hands as he was on the floor for no apparent reason as of now. So hopefully the refs will help clean this game up.
Yeah, 19 seconds left on the play clock. A tick under 5 minutes left in the game clock as Brand is getting ready to take the snap. Puts his man in motion. Johnson goes to the right. Brand fakes the handoff to nobody being there. Runs up the left side. Picks up about 4 to 5 yards on the play, it looks like.
Yeah, he was met by a few Jaguars, but it looked like number 28 first. Maddox Aldape, who I want to say was one of the captains today, as he makes a play on the defensive side.
Yeah, I think you're right. So that'll bring up gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd and 4 here for the Lions. As Brand gets the call from his sideline. 2 wide receivers out right, accompanied by running back in the backfield. I believe that's Jaden Johnson. Hands the ball to Johnson, and Johnson is met for what looks like no gain. They're going to give him about a half a yard. Bring up 3rd and 4.5 here.
Yeah, he was met by that whole defensive line, it seemed, as they kind of broke through that offensive line fairly easily and closed all those gaps that the running back was looking for there. As you mentioned, now it's bringing up 3rd and about 4 here.
Brand joined in the backfield by an H-back as well as 2 running backs. And signal for a running clock maybe. 3 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock. Brand gets ready for the snap, takes it, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson goes to the right. Isn't able to really get anything going there, but he picks up about a yard or 2. So not enough for the first down here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it seems like they're going to go for it on this 4th down and short. Looks like they've got 1 in the backfield as well as 3 on the right.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4th and 2 here, ball on the 40. as Brand looks to take the snap. Hands it off to his running back, and he gets up to about the 41, but he needed 2. He got 1. So it'll be a turnover on downs for Greenville, as Jaguars offense will come back on the field with 2 minutes, over 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, probably we're going to start seeing a lot more of the running and a lot less passing to kind of draw this game towards the conclusion.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. As it looks like 3 new guys in on the defensive line for the Lions. That's number 51, Evan Schutt, number 50, Chris Jimenez, and number 50, I can't quite tell who that last number is.
Shall we call it 52? It's Cash Garcia?
I think it may be right, but I've seen Cash play. It's 53, and I don't have a 53 on my roster. Anyway, Waxler takes the snap here, and looks like he need it. So run the clock out here with 2:07 left here. And they're going to sit here and let this clock run as much as possible.
Seems like a little bit of confusion from both teams, as the ref's given a stern talking to the center, I believe, for the Jaguars, as he may have gave a little bit of a movement before he snapped the ball to the quarterback there.
Yeah. So Waxler getting ready to take the snap, as it looks like they're probably not going to take it till there's no time left on the play clock, or as little as possible, of course. And of course he knees it down. I think it's getting a little chippy too, because Greenville players are continuing to rush, of course, and I don't know that the Jaguars really like that, but I don't know that the Greenville players really much care.
Yeah, it looks like Cody Waldrop's just trying to maybe get in their heads for a little bit of, like I said earlier, no reason really at this point. So we'll probably see one more snap of the ball before this game's concluded.
So ref's talking it over a little bit. 10 seconds left on the play clock as they're getting ready to kneel it one more time. And another kneel by Waxler, as that'll be enough to run this clock out, and that'll do it here for this game tonight. As scores looking like 75, for the Jaguars, for the Lions. So definitely not how we would have wanted this game to go. Lions did a few things well tonight. Had a lot that they got to work on before we go to Poteet next week. So Archer, what do you have to say about this game?
It never started off hot for the Lions, as they allowed a touchdown on the second play of the game. Rather, we, like you mentioned before the game, we're missing a few key components on this team, including our starting quarterback, Phoenix Rodriguez. So, maybe this wasn't the game. However, we're hopefully going to have a few more people coming back from injury and continuing to help this Lions team out throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And missing so many key players is not a good thing by any means. So we wrap this one up at that final score. And don't forget, guys, we will be on next week. And I believe we will start the show at about 6:45 from Mesquite Poteet. And we will get ready for that one. Next Thursday at about 7 against Poteet in Mesquite. Archer, do you have anything else?
Not much. I just hope to see everybody at as many games as we can this season and really cheer our guys on for these seniors' last round.
I couldn't agree more. Bob will be back with us next week, so I'll be back on color, and Bob will be doing play-by-play. However, Archer will be joining us again when we go to Ennis in a couple weeks. So we appreciate all y'all tuning in tonight. We look forward to seeing y'all next week. And from Bentley Love, Archer O'Neill, and Matthew Middleton, thank you and good night.
This video has been brought to you by GEUS. GEUS is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.